What can I say except you're welcome?
Now the whole world can acknowledge me.
Why am I so small here? But hey, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Ooh, I got myself double. Oh, I got my. Okay, there we go. I think that will work. I hope y'all don't hit me double time. Double. Make sure. Okay, I think that will work. Hi, what's up, guys? This is another episode of Talk It Up. We're here today. We're going to discuss a lot of things before my beautiful guest comes in today. Today I'm going to probably go into a couple of Raw stuff that happened on Raw, from what we got from Raw. What was you guys? I would love to hear everyone's thoughts about how y'all felt about Raw. We're going to talk about Palooza too. We're going to definitely talk about what happened on Palooza. We got to talk about Palooza because it feels like Palooza felt flat, and it wasn't the show that we was thinking it was going to be. Um, that's just my thoughts on that, guys. I just want to hear you guys' thoughts on how you felt about the PLE for Palooza. What was y'all guys' thoughts on it? Did you like it? Did you not like it? What was your key notes on it? Did you think anything of it? Did you take anything from it when it came down to the whole um PLE of the of the um of the show? We're going to get down into that today, so I hope you guys enjoy that. Um, just let us know what was your guys' thoughts about how you felt about the show Monday Palooza, whatever it may be, and where you felt like, okay, well, we could have had this a little more better, we could have had that more a little better. How was the wrestling week for you guys when it came down to our wrestling week? Because we had a lot of news coming out. Congratulations to Mickey Jane, who came out. Who's going to be inducted into the TNA Hall of Fame. So shouts out to her for that. But before we start, let's give our promotion company who promotes the DWE, our wonderful energy, double energy. Yes, that's right, double energy. Go on doubleenergy.com. I'm going to put the link down below where you can find the website of double energy. Give me a minute. I'm about to put that up in here in a few minutes. Here we go. You can find that down below where you can find the link of where you can go on Double Energy. You see, they have their cherry blossom Japan flavor gummies. They have gummies. They have powder. They have You have the mix. They have the mixed cups. You can go online and get. Make sure you go online. You see the link down below where you can go online and put in the promo code Talk It Up Wrestling. You get 10% off on anything online over there. So hope you guys enjoy that. That's on the house for Talk It Up. Hope you guys go over there and check out all their wonderful flavors. They got cherry, they got peach, they got even a s'more color, s'more flavor. So if you guys want to try out that and check it out, go to doubleenergy.com, put in the Talk It Up promo, and get 10% off on that. Um, hope you guys see it. Let's see. Let me go read the comments. Hopefully. Oh, okay. Well, no, there's somebody restraining. Let's see. So, shouts out. Thanks for restraining the stream. DJ. I'm trying to get this stream back to. There we go. I don't know why I did not do it at first, guys. I don't know why. They did not want to do it. But go, yes, you guys go check that out on doublenergy.com. I'm going to get into a couple topics before Final Boss gets on here. I'm going to start off with Raw. Um, let's go into straight into the topic. We're going to get straight into our topic where did we feel like Raw was a little overwhelming of what all we seen the from this Monday. It wasn't the product has not been where I feel like it should be at. Raw, especially coming out the Palooza, it wasn't the best Palooza, so I was thinking that Raw was going to be pretty decent, but it did set up a lot of matches where we already know at Peru Crown Jewel, which will be in Australia, which will be at 8 o'clock PLE, that now we're kind of in a set where now we know what we're heading off to and what we're going into. We know that now that we're set to be doing these shows, we know that we're getting Seth Rollins and CM Punk. I mean Seth Rollins and Cody for the fourth time. I did not know. I thought this was the third time when these two guys was going to be facing, but come to find out, no, this will be the fourth time these two will be actually seeing each other and facing each other. So I did not know that. I feel like Seth may win this match. If once it comes down to the nitty gritty of what's going to go on with Seth and Cody. We'll have to see, wait and see. I'm pretty sure that we will see a lot of things come out from this. I feel like, of course, the Vision is going to come in and do something to help Seth win because now he has help. Um, this should be the last match. I've never seen Triple H do four matches between someone. I think Cody and Seth will be the first. Now, I'm not surprised they're not doing it because the story is Seth has never beat Cody 1-on-1, and kudos to Cody that for saying that because he already know that hey, you most likely probably not going to win this show. I mean, you're not going to win this match on your own. So that's the thing about it, about them. That's the match that we're going to get when it comes down to Cody and Seth. So it will be really interesting on how they do it. Of course, we're going to know he's not going to win the match. He's going to there going to be interference. There's going to be something going on with it with when it comes down to Cody and Seth. I was not tripping about that. The promo for me, it made sense, but I'm like, I'm already seeing this. I'm not interested into what we're going to get when we get these two, because it's like it's for yes, it's for the title that they have for Crown Jewel. And I think that's their safe havens for if you do a title versus title. Seems like the only time they're going to do that is when they do Crown Jewel, and that's their safe haven. So no one won't get two titles, and also you won't have to worry about anyone going into the double title things, which I do not mind. I don't mind that. My thing is this is I wish it was someone else because last year I think we got it was Cody and Gunther, and Cody won. So now we have Seth and Cody. Um, if it wasn't if Seth didn't have the vision, I was gonna automatically tell you, well, heck, Seth will win this match, and that's just plain simple as that. I would think that that would happen right off the bat, but now Now Seth has his backup and he has division. This will make me say that, hey, there's no way Seth will lose this match. Um, and there was a key thing that I think we said on Talk It Up months back when it came to Seth and Cody. If you notice that Seth Group division has not attacked Cody yet. For far as I know, far as I can remember, I have not seen them on attack him yet. And I found that real interesting. Now, a lot of people were saying that everyone thought Cody was going to be the fourth man, but it seems like, and like I said, we'll get into um Palooza a little bit and some more topics. Is I think Brock Lesnar could be helping every now and then with the vision. Now I don't know for sure, but it was interesting to see Heyman come out and introduce Lesnar at Palooza. So I was like, wow, is Brock ever going to go back for a title or something, or he's just going to be the guy that come in, beat up people? Maybe Seth could ask Paul for a favor, say, hey, soften this guy up, send Brock in, and then Seth comes in and pick up the scraps. You can play this Brock thing into a lot of ways if they do it right. um, it'll be interesting to see where they go with Brock. If Brock does be a part or some kind of part of Vision or have some kind of um indications with the Vision and maybe see them one on one. We never know how that's gonna go and how this will play into it. Now this might be one of the stories that, like I say, it's a little interesting, but it's not because we already. I feel like the Brock thing to me is more interesting than this Seth and Cody, because we're like, what's next for Brock Lesnar? What's next for this group? Where are we gonna go when this is all in? Like, okay, is we? I'm pretty sure none of the stuff that's happening because it seems like they're building up Peru. We're not getting no kind of indications of what they're going to do for Survivor Series because we do know that they are going to do a War Games, but I don't know who's going to be at War Games. I have seen different people have flyers and things like that, and have thoughts about maybe some things about what they may do when it comes down to Survivor Series. So that's the main thing that I feel like they may do when it comes down to Survivor Series. I don't know what they're gonna do because we don't have no teams. Now it seems like Judgment Day, they're kind of seeming like they're finna break them up. Far as I know, most likely, um, Crown Jewel, not Crown Jewel, but Survivor Series usually has five guys. Now, the best people who are looking on paper, since we're just talking about the television matches and we're not going to go into Palooza right now, is Solo's group. Now, Solo only has four guys, but if you get a fifth man, because I know one of the Tongans have been gone for quite some time. He's not been around, but it seems like he's not part of this group because from what Solo's saying, these are the only people we got. This is the person that we only have. But we're talking about Raw. I feel like when it comes to Raw, from top to bottom, from beginning to start, um, I like the main event. I'm not gonna down on it because yes, it was a women's main event, and storyline wise, I seen what it was gonna go because we finally got Asuka and Kairi Sane to turn on Io, and it seems like they're gonna do put Rhea in a tag team with Io, which would be pretty cool because these two have Rhea has never beat Io. um, they have great. They have had some great matches in the ring. I love their chemistry. They have had some bangers. Even the one when Naomi was in it, I felt like was a great match when it came to Io and Rhea. So when you see these two um popping for the tag, you're going to need these tag teams. The tag team women's division really has to thrive. If anyone knows, you know why I'm saying that, because now Triple H, you got to be put to the fire of where you're gonna go with these, you know, matches. Where you're gonna go when you say, okay, how we got to come up with some women and get them together. Now I know one of the NXT stars in NXT did not resign her contract, so you know, in NXT women they still you still have a few, but it seems like it kind of has died down a little. It's like your women's division, you really gotta now build it. Now I'm not saying like you gotta main event them every time, but we have to build this women's division because it's only centered around a couple women. Now, I did like the part when Maxine came in and she was like, she wanted to prove herself. She's ready to prove herself. So I'm guessing over time she's been training because I know she was hanging with Natalia, but I did notice that Maxine wasn't with no Natalia. She wasn't with the she wasn't with Otis, she wasn't with what's the guy's name? I can't think of the name. The Africa Academy. She wasn't with no one. Um, she was by herself. So I was like, well, this is kind of interesting to see with Maxine, to see where they're going to go with her when it comes to Maxine Dupree, on where we're going to go and how we're going to do this. I do like the dominant stuff, but it seems like now we have the Judgment Day, like I was saying earlier, about to get ready, maybe turn on Dominant. Now it could be because he has the AA Mega Champion. For those who don't know, he did win the championship, that their heavyweight championship in AA. So that could be a reason why they might will take the IC title off of him and maybe go down to AA and build it up, because he's been getting he did get a lot of cheers down there. It seems like they do like him down there. The crowd was very happy that he won this title. The title is now getting brought on mainstream, just like the TNA title. So maybe Trick opened the door to say, well, hey, now more people are invested into TNA. We're looking at TNA a little different now, because TNA has now brought us more stuff when it comes down to when you say TNA wrestling. So now we're looking at TNA like, oh, we really like TNA. You know, some people are now trying to go get the app from TNA wrestling. I think Dominic will do the same thing. Now we've seen Dominic be the TNA North American champion and bring it onto the main roster, and he defended that thing on the main roster and NXT. Now I want to know, once if Dominic drops his IC title, would that kind of be the same thing where he does that? A lot of times it's two titles I would like to see them do something with. The women's tag team title, I want them to start going to TNA. AEW, well, AA already has women champions, but I still would like to see these titles even get defended down there. You're gonna have to really build these women's titles, tag team titles, up to a standard where we're going to be like, hey, now they're kind of important. Now they're like the most prestige titles that we see to this day. And I think that's a big major thing they're going to have to do. So those are two titles that I wish and I want to see float through the float through the main roster. and see what they're going to do when it comes to main roster belts, those titles. Um, like I say, when it comes to that, I did see that, and I have been noticing it. That has been one of the things that I did notice when it came to um Dominant, and what he's going to probably get ready to do when it comes to Dominant. Um, I'm trying to think of another thing that happened. I like I say, I know that was like some of the major things. It was real slow pace for me when it came down to Dominic, and even um the just the crew itself, just the whole Raw itself. You know, I felt like it was a real slow pace for me. It wasn't like, oh my god, they're going to try to make up for the Palooza. It seems like they don't care. They're like, okay, it is what it is. People are going to watch it regardless. And I feel like if they don't do the right thing, they're going to probably lose people. Now they might don't be afraid they are not, but I feel like they are, because your competition is really trying to step it up. If you don't see that, then you're what are you doing this for? It's like you should come in and see this. You got to put yourself on a level where you got to say, hey, we got to really push ourselves to the break where we can show people the standard and the storytelling, and telling the story and getting people to be invested into us again. And we're going to do a podcast about that here on Talk It Up, me and Final Boss, because we discussed that, where I told her I really wanted to talk about what happened, because we know you can tell the stories, you know you can do good storylines because you did it before when you didn't even have these deals. And are you even caring now because you got your money, you got what it, you got, you did what you had to do. It is what it is. So I hoping that they they have to step it back up and give us something again. If they don't feel like that's the case, then all is lost when it comes down to it. I did not really like Raw. Yes, it was underwhelming. It didn't give me the feeling of, okay, we're going to try to make up for our mistakes of what happened at Palooza. Um, and that's just my thoughts, guys. Let's get into a couple comments because I was talking about Raw. We have Aries here. He said, "Did you appreciate that C grade on Palooza?" We're going to get into that, Aries. I'm waiting for Final Balls because we're going to deep dive into that as soon as she come. That's going to come at the top of the 6:30 hour. We got a couple minutes before we get into that. I really want to talk about that because I did see that and I got a lot of thoughts, Avery. So stick around for that. Let's go to your next question. Is like, in the WWE partnership with TKO, do you think is best for business? At first, at first, it was a good deal on paper, but we knew what they did with the UFC. But if you think about, okay, when you make a mistake, you would say, well, this person's not going to make the same mistake with this company, right? You would think that. You would think, okay, there's no way they're going to do that. But um, at the time, it was. Now, it's been what? Because I think TKO, I think they signed to TKO. I think we're going into the third year, maybe third, fourth, maybe fourth year. Um, it has not been the best for me because I feel like before TKO, they had better storylines. Now I know mainly it was the bloodline, but still the storytelling was there. And I feel like if you could do that with that story, you could do that with multiple stories. We'll see where they're gonna go with this Judgment Day, but it seems like the Judgment Day has been falling flat. It's not that same no more. It's been a lot of people in Judgment Day, in and out of Judgment Day. So we will have to see what they're gonna do with Judgment Day. So I don't know, Aries. It seems like at the time, yes, it was best for business, but we will see. Um, Nate, Nate, the wrestling doll says I can't say what it was. Yeah, he might be talking about Raw. I and that's fair, Nate, the wrestling doll. Yeah, because my feelings is just it wasn't there. It felt like the show. I felt like it would could have been a little bit more brought to us and what we could have thought of it. And tell me what, and this is from Aries. He said, and tell me what do you think about the booking of SmackDown with the champions. Now, I am a fan of the open challenge. Now, Final Balls Baby wants it to be Cena doing it, but I feel like if anyone's doing it, do it because this does give people opportunities to do it. Now, SmackDown, I love the match between Sammy and Mello, and I do see a lot of people saying that man they dropped the ball on Mello and that it's coming out more now than it ever did because I feel like the reason why it's coming out now is that it's because we don't have a I think Melo, my bad. I think Melo is going to be one of those people where if he leaves, he could become a potential swerve because he has the tools to be a great athlete. Um, I hoping to God that WWE sees what they have on their hands. TKO, whoever it is, they have to see it. So I'm hoping that that match opens somebody's eyes. From what I'm hearing, they seem like they're real high on them. So we don't know. We'll see. We have another one here from Nate the wrestler. He says we need a Io and Rhea's tag team. Yeah, I feel like these two can have some great dynamic, especially on paper. On paper, it seems like to me that this seems like a great team. This seems like a team that you'll say, man, um, who are these two young ladies? They're both champions. Both have had great matches together. And it seems like we're going to that direction now. So yeah, I do agree with you on that, Nate. The wrestling dog. Yeah, we need that tag team. Um, we have another one for Avery saying, "How was the ending of NXT for you?" The ending of NXT, I like, and this is why I'm always a person, guys. You always hear me. I always say I like the way things are booked. I want the booking to make sense. I understand the I did. How it played out, it wasn't I want to say flat. It wasn't there mostly. Now I did like Matt Cardona did get a pop. I was surprised they had him on NXT because they have been doing this with Joe Henry, and we all hear that Joe Henry maybe contract is coming up soon. But I feel like with the thing with when we think about the invasion, the first thing I think about is ECW when they did that angle. Um, at the time, it was sort of similar like this. It didn't give me that, oh my God, what's going on here? It just gave me, okay, where we're gonna go. It did get somewhere a little bit because we did get WCW, ECW, and at the time it was WWF, now known as WWE. We did get those three to feud with each other. I think we had a video game of that, or that was in a video game, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure y'all guys will. But I thought we had a video game of that, but that was um one of the angles I do remember back when we got that angle with the ECW, and WWE and WCW when we got that whole, angle. So that's where the idea come from. The whole angle of where the invasion came from. If I'm not mistaken, I think invasion is one of those old pay-per-views. It seems like that's why they trademarked it. Mostly majority time NSC does invasion, so that's where you get the invasion angle from. That's why they got invasion. From there, I did see that they did get that whole idea from them. So I would love to see that. Oh, now boom. Just an hour ago. Um, and this is crazy. Let me see if I can get this up here. I just got this. Hold on, we got breaking news. Um, just a few minutes ago, and I thought I knew this. I thought I seen this. I didn't know for sure. I thought I seen this a while ago, but I just seen an hour ago that um they say AJ Styles has announced that he will be retiring in sometime in 2026. So next year will be AJ Styles' last year in WWE. So wow, shouts out to Styles, man. I feel like he's the modern day Shawn Michaels for you guys. Um man, he said this on Tokyo Sport. I'm looking at it now. Man, a lot of people saying they wish he gave him another run with um TNA. Speaking of TNA Hall of Fames, that could be a person that they definitely need to put in the TNA Hall of Fame. So, man, thank you Styles for everything you done. Probably one of the best in ring performers that I can think of that give us that classic Shawn Michaels type of guys. Who you guys think will be AJ Styles next year last opponent when he goes out? A lot of these people now when they retire, cause John, and we'll get into a lot of stuff with John, cause I know Final Boss wants to talk about that about John Cena, and stuff. Is that you know I feel like we're gonna have to do something when these guys say they retire. You're gonna have to give them some kind of good run. You would think that you would do that when you get down to the whole WWE and retire guys. So that's gonna be really interesting to see who will be his last person when we get down to what we thought when we get down to AJ Styles' last opponent. Um I feel like his last opponent, I don't know, cause I mean we don't think I would say KO, but I don't know if KO's coming back. Cena already be gone, so I don't know who his last opponent could be. Maybe put over Melo if Melo's still there next year. Hopefully he can put over Melo. And see what that does for Melo. When he goes out. Give him the United States title one last time. That's a guy I like his United States run. I like his heavyweight run. So, thanks AJ Styles for everything you done for when it comes to us and everything you did when it comes to when it comes down to it. Let's get into our next topic before Final Boss comes in, because I know she's going to be here in a few minutes. So let's get into what everyone came for, and that's Palooza The good, the bad, the ugly. For you guys, go ahead and put that down of what you thought, what you guys thought of when it came down to Palooza. What was y'all guys thought of Palooza? Did you like it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Um, are you gonna damn respect it? Like The Rock said, when you get down to it, um, to the match of Palooza. Wow, I'm still kind of shocked. I'm lost for words when it came down to AJ Styles. Man, we're gonna really miss him. When you get down to the nitty gritty of AJ Styles. Um, but let's get into a couple of the matches that we got. And we're gonna get into all of the stuff where they gotta see on there and stuff. So we gonna get into that. Look, boom, just in time. Final boss came in, and I was talking about Palooza. So I told you guys you were gonna be there. It was just in time when she came in. I don't know why she's not coming up on my thing. I got you on the thing, Final boss, but I don't know why you're not showing up. Let's try to get you. Okay. Let's do that. All right, let's do you that way. All right, there you go. But
Hello.
yeah, we can hear you, Final boss. How you doing? Yeah, we was just getting into um Palooza. I knew just in time became just in time, but I was just getting to Palooza. The good, the bad, the ugly. Um, you got any thoughts about Palooza since we just got into it? Because while I was on the 30 minutes, I just talked about Raw, rambling about Raw, about how I felt about Raw. So you haven't missed nothing. Um, but far as that, um, you came just in time for us to talk about Palooza. So what's your thoughts about Palooza when it gets to your thoughts on Palooza, Final Boss?
Well, interesting because before I get into that, I thought we were going for 6:30. I thought we were going for
Well, no,
6:30.
no. We told the people we was coming on at 6 o'clock. You was coming on at 6:30 because you're the final boss. You know the Rock comes at the end. The Rock doesn't come early. Roman Reigns comes early.
Okay, so that means about another 30, 45 minutes from now is when I'll come in. So thank you all for coming. I will see you guys in the next hour or
Oh Lord, you gonna do
and
like the Rock do?
hopefully,
Like, oh, thanks for coming. We catch y'all later.
yeah. Sit back and enjoy the ride. Final boss baby's
Oh
taking you
Lord.
on.
Oh
Um,
Lord.
but I hope we didn't get into too much when it comes to
No, I didn't
Raw
get into
because
none of the
there's a
Palooza
lot to
stuff.
go.
All I talked about was Raw
Because
because I
30
wanted you
minutes,
to get
30
here.
minutes is a long time. It's a long time. And, you know, yeah. But as far as Palooza, well, you said the good, the bad, and the ugly. So let's talk about the good, right? So what was good? What was good? For me, really was Stephanie Valkyrie match was really good. We knew she was gonna win, and she did. And now we get to see how her title reign is going to be going forward. Um, I think that was probably the highlight of the night. Was also what was good was Brock and Cena, because it was exactly what we expected. We expected Brock to come in and annihilate Cena, and that's exactly what he did. Gave him about what was it, six F5s. I just find it funny that his is called the F5s, and you have Cena who has the used to have the FU before it changed it to the AA. But anyway, um, but it was exactly what we thought it was going to be. He was going to annihilate him. Um, I also like the storytelling, and it looks like it is going somewhere between Seth and Becky. They're having that dissension there, and that kind of also played out a little bit on this Raw. So even though the match was more of a feel good match. A lot of other podcasters have referred it to really being a replay of like the Authority type of match with and then with Ronda Rousey, Kurt Angle. That's what their whole goal was, and I really think that if Triple H didn't have the heart issue, that you would have probably seen Punk and AJ versus a Triple H and Stephanie. I think that's what it would have been. But of course, we know Triple H health just can't do it anymore. But for what this match was, I think it was a fun match. But there is some bit of storytelling in there. So I kind of like that. And for me, that was the good. What was the bad? Um, it didn't live up to what we thought. Right, this is going to be the first. Well, this is the first ever PLE on ESPN. It's Palooza. It's supposed to be like this main event. It was supposed to be more of on their higher scale for PLEs, and it under delivered, and ESPN expressed that. Um, so I think that was also probably really the bad, is that it just undelivered. Triple H had said there was going to be surprises besides them really announcing that Stephanie's going to be the highlight of being in the this year's Hall of Fame and having Taker come out and being the older Taker, there was no surprises. I mean, that's what he is now. I mean, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later on because I have a lot to say about that. And what was ugly? Well, what was ugly is that we watched SmackDown prior week, and Truth had this little type of segment with the Motor City Machine Guns about how to use ESPN. And then we found out that a lot of information that he gave was incorrect, that a lot of people didn't have access to ESPN. And it just came out, the ESPN said, hey, they're going to renegotiate a lot of contracts with Google, in particular, the end of next few months, and everything plans to be more streamlined by the end of the year. But we didn't know that going in. So a lot of people thought they was going to have ESPN and they didn't have it. So there was a lot of confusion and trying to get on the app and getting it to work. So that was really the ugly. I felt like they would have had a bigger turnout if, one, everything was streamlined about how you access the ESPN, and two, if it would have delivered on those surprises that Triple H talked about. So for me, that's the ugly.
Yeah, for me, it was a couple matches where I felt like it fell short for me. I know a lot of people wasn't happy about Brock and John, but it, like you said, it was what we suspected. I had John winning this match, final boss. I really did. I thought that because they built Brock up so much. John came out there with the kids. It was like mini Johns, sort of like his WrestleMania entry when he came out with the older Johns, which
And they
Miz
had
was in
kids
that lineup.
crying. They
Huh?
had little kids crying, but I think and there were also shots of kids crying after he took all those F5s. But my whole thing is that I think that's part of the story, not so part more of the story, I should say, more part of his gimmick. It's to go ahead and to remind us as fans that this is the old John Cena. There should not be any doubt about him being this heel or kind of being caught in the middle or indecisive. The whole idea with that is it's showing this is the old John Cena. This is the Cena that had the most make-a-wishes granted. This is that John Cena, the super, super baby face, not Duggonomics, not the franchise, just the most babyest baby face Cena, the one that kids loved and adored and women went crazy for, and the men booed. That's that Cena. That's the message they were trying to get by doing that. They just wanted us to remind us that's where they are. Just five-ish, four-ish, wherever we're at now, and just 1 to 2 appearances that we have left from Cena. They want to make it clear we're not going back to Hill Cena. This is the Cena that we're getting now. He's truly, truly, the baby face. That was the whole idea of it. And then to see, because Brock Lesnar, he's a heel character. So to see the heel actually annihilate the baby face is just putting more emphasis by showing the mini Cenas and then showing the shots of the kids crying and showing that grown man crying. That is the impact, is this super heel beast mode Brock and super duper baby face. Forget that he turned heel on Cody. Forget about that. It didn't happen. Forget it. They're good now, and this is where we are.
Yeah, it's weird. This is where we at because me and you had talked about the way he turned in a promo, which I mean it's very old school, but I just wish he would have did it in a match. Um, Now I was surprised Brock Lesnar final boss, and I don't know if you caught it. He did not attack Cena. He walked around the ring, left out, and then attacked Cena again. Now he did attack a couple. I think he attacked the ref.
Well, that's because we don't want Cena to be hurt for his last 5 appearances. Now, come on.
Well, yeah, I understand that. I'm not saying, well, because I was thinking, well, I mean, because it's gonna be a minute before we probably see Cena again. I thought they was gonna do a little,
Well, here's the thing: is no or not, because he's fighting AJ Styles at Crown Jewel. That's next
but
month,
that's on the 11th.
right? But I mean, this PLE was just last week, so we're not even looking at a month apart now. We did think about it, so they can't overplay that angle because then that would be a write-off angle. That's the problem. We don't have the time in Cena's tour to have him be written off. Now they would have did this back in the beginning. Remember, he was gone for a while and he was in Africa and shooting movies and he was gone for like ever right after the heel turn. Back then it would have been more applicable because you had the time to kind of play off the, he's written him off TV when he's coming back. But now, we're almost in October. He's leaving us in December, so we really can't afford to have a write-off angle. Like it's going to be Brock being dominant, which is what he did, absolutely, positively did, be dominant, and Cena has to turn back around and come for that PLE. So that's the reasoning behind that. I mean, I would assume.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Now, Aries did ask us about this final boss, and I don't know if you got to see this on X. We seen the ESPN grade of them giving it the Palooza, the whole pay-per-view, a C. And Aries did ask what was our thoughts on that. I'll let you go first, and then I'm gonna give you thoughts. I'm gonna put the ad up if I can get it up. There, that goes Aries' question. Let's see if we can get the Palooza picture up. There it goes. Boom. There it goes. It says there, final boss. They gave the final grade for Palooza was a C. Final boss, baby. What's your thoughts about the grade giving a C for Palooza? Like it? Did they hit it? Did they get it right? Did they get it wrong? What's your thoughts on the C grade for Palooza?
Well, who gave it a C?
ESPN. Yeah,
Oh,
ESPN. You want me to put it back up?
well,
I'll put it back up.
okay, put it back up.
They gave him a C. The
All
final
right. Well,
grade
hold
was
on
a C.
because you got to read it now. It says the excellent Valkyrie versus Sky match, Io Sky, I guess. Match saves this show from being truly average. It was a phenomenal. Hey, where's AJ Styles when you need him? Display inside the square circle. Everything else was either underwhelming. The short rows. What's this
Hold on.
goddamn?
Let me move this stuff.
Oh,
Okay, what
Drew
do you have?
McIntyre. It's McIntyre
Yeah,
match.
McIntyre.
Or a setup for a future match. Lesnar dominating Cena for a card that promised to have epic moments. It fell a little short of, and that's all I can see, which is
Yeah, that's
exactly
all right.
what I stated, is that it did fall short of because Triple H promised surprises and we didn't get that.
Mm-hmm.
And then as far as this statement about the Drew McIntyre, which I don't know why his name looked so weird in that literature. But the Drew McIntyre Cody Rhodes match, that was your main event, and it was a 20-minute thing, which I was really surprised initially when that was going to be the main event.
Mm,
I thought it was going to be the Punk, AJ, Becky, and Seth match was going to be your main event, and
mm,
it wasn't. Which is to me was absolutely crazy because this is, AJ Lee's first match back in over 10 plus years, at least in WWE. So I was a little bit shocked by that. Of course, I get why the Drew McIntyre and Rose match was the main event because, Rose is a champion. He's supposed to be, your main card guy, which is what he's presented to be. But I didn't expect a lot. I expected him to have some kind of weird surprise towards the end because that promo that him and Cody had on SmackDown, I had those original thoughts about Cody a year or so ago where is this guy truly a babyface because he was cussing and stuff. So, or is he just the edgier babyface, more kind of like how Cena was when he was doing his stuff back in his prime, because he used to kind of devil the lines of, I'm a babyface, but I'm also edgy. When he transitioned from Doug Nauman Cena to more like Super Cena, he was kind of in that middle range of edgy, and we heard lines like "choke on these nuts" and he throw a pack of peanuts at you. So I'm like, well, is that what Cody is? I wasn't quite sure. And then of course the angle where they're beating each other down on SmackDown. I had a lot of questions about where Cody stood as a character. So I thought with it being surprises and it being the main event that we were going to see something big out of Cody, maybe a return, or maybe Cody, finally putting more hints of that turn of a heel or something. And we didn't really get that. So I get what ESPN is saying about, hey, we thought it was going to be like this epic PLE. This is our first PLE, and it fell short. Remember, just back in January, they had a partnership they made a partnership with of Netflix, and they roll out the red carpet. Now, granted, they killed a lot of stories that day, and we won't go into that. But we got to see people, like The Rock, at least show up. So it was definitely like a businessy all-star night. This partnership, which in my personal opinion is a bigger partnership versus Netflix. I mean, this is freaking ESPN. Do you know how much ESPN costs as a cable package for people when you start looking at like certain pieces of ESPN? I mean, it's astronomical. It's always been that sports package has always been that high package. Like that's the kind of package that is either you are a big sports fan or you have a man in the house. Like that's always has been a thing because it's pricey. So to hear a big name like ESPN and then hear a big name like WWE, and this is the debut. This is it. This is the debut. You would think that they would have pulled out all the stops. You would think this was them pulling out stops from back when they first launched Crown Jewel, when they had legends, coming dusting off the ring rust and coming out there, and like that's the caliber you would have thought this would be, coming in. And it simply wasn't. It was more of a Saturday night main event style PLE, which is good, but it's not great. It's not what you think. And now going in, well, the next PLE, of course, is going to be Crown Jewel in Australia, which is really going to be more of like that filler PLE now because they're not doing it in Saudi, because we know why, because what's happening in 2026. Well, seven.
which one? You talking about
What's
for
up?
the WrestleMania pay per
Yeah,
view?
it's
Yeah,
27.
that's 27. Yeah.
But we know what's happening there. We know what's happening with the Rumble and with, of course, WrestleMania. So we know that now Crown Jewel is not going to be that major show anymore because they have given them bigger shows. So this is more of kind of like your filler PLE, right? This is more kind of like your fast lane, right? So we expect, yeah, fast lane is it's a filler PLE. Yeah,
I'm surprised. I'm
Cena
surprised
used
they
to
didn't
love
bring
fast
that
lane.
that for John Cena.
I know it was weird, but yeah, this is gonna be more of your filler PLE, and so you expect this main one will be the biggest one. Like you expect, okay, well, we're like 4 or 5 PLE in and start, going downhill like Raw did, but right out the gate, this is where we at. This is the bar. I mean, this is the bar. So if this is the bar, I mean, if you want to be optimistic, it can only go up from here, right? But I think what ESPN has stated in regards to their rating of the PLE and it being a debut and just taking into account everything I just said, I think it's spot on. I think it's pretty accurate. And your mic is muted.
I'm sorry. So when we talk about Palooza and what happened on Palooza, I feel like I was suspecting this to be something. I was suspecting something major, something, but I looked at the card front of us. I'm gonna be honest, and I was like, well, where something can happen, and I was like, maybe the Cena match, maybe the Cody match. Those was the only two. Maybe Seth, but I was like, maybe not. Now you did, and I did tell the people that earlier, but I didn't get deep into it. You had Paul come out and introduce Brock, and I was telling everyone I would give my thoughts once you got on here. Is I'm interested into that because it's like now, what's is Brock a part of this group? Is Paul just managing two people? Is Seth going to send in Brock to sometimes soften the people up a little bit? Then then bring him in and then do this whole thing where he beats him up, but Brock comes in and does the whole beats you up, then boom, you're gone. Then you come in and he beats the guy. He does that for a while. I think I'm a little interested into seeing what's Brock's how he's going to play into this, especially now. Now I love when Paul came out and introduced Brock and gave us that old feeling. I love this whole dynamic where Paul is still endorsing the vision and Seth because we're used to Paul turning on his clients. This may be the first time I ever seen. Now we have seen Paul have two clients, but not on two different sides. Not like this. We seen it, but not like quite like this, because we don't know where Brock stands right now. We don't know if he's a part of it. We just know that Paul came out, introduced Brock Lesnar. Even in the press conference, you still heard Paul still building up Vision and Brock. And I was like, man, this is quite interesting. It got me interested the same way I'm interested with the whole solo thing that I was telling people earlier before you came, Final Boss. That was like, man, now this story, I can get into it. Now, will they tell it right? I don't know, because that's been one of my most worried things. And I told the people before you came on that we're going to have to do a show of how most of this stuff has fell flat. Matter of fact, we got a topic of that of most of have the WWE lost the storylines, have they have they lost the appearance. There has not been that build for us like they used to be back in the day. This is not just there no more, but that was one of the main things that I did like about this PLE. Now the Seth and AJ, What's good? I called it because I knew AJ was going to win because they probably want to set up a match, which we did see on Raw because you've seen Becky doing the back and forth. And Seth was just sitting there looking at that watch, which we know he got back in 40. And it seems like we're circling back to that story. But remember, Final Balls, and it was something that me and you talked about not on the pod that we would love to see Seth and The Rock go at it one on one because back then it was like, oh man, this could probably be a decent match. But now Seth is a heel, and could they still play it? I don't know. Or it could they could play it to this where maybe Seth is maybe listening not just to Paul to maybe Rock and saying, "Hey, this guy you came out and helped him, but Cody has teamed with Roman. He's not did nothing for you. He's not came out and helped y'all at all. He cares about himself, which Seth did say in his promo. You care about yourself." And I'm with you too. We said this over the time that yes, Cody's not a heel, but some of the things he has done has been quite almost heelish. It just don't seem like Triple H and TKO wants to pull that trigger because I don't think they know how to tell that story to make him turn heel. Now the crowd has not booed him no more. At first they was, but not no more. So we don't know what direction we want to go with there. I'm not surprised Cody won the match. I knew Cody was going to win the match. That's just plain and simple. I feel like Cody's going to hold his title to Mania. Now, will he drop it? It all depends on who he go against. I don't know who it's going to be. I had two people. Now Seth is champion that eliminates Seth. So my last person is Punk. Punk is either going to take on Cody or Seth. Most likely, it looks like Seth because they probably want to hold off on Seth, but I am hearing rumors that they want to do Roman and Seth. So some kind of way, maybe AJ and Punk, and she took me off of the thing because I guess she doesn't like me like that. I don't know why she did that. I guess she wants to take me off. I don't know why. I don't know why they would put Punk and Seth on SmackDown. Maybe Cody comes to Raw. I don't know how they play that out. Maybe we have two champions on Raw, and then and Cody floats back and forth. I don't know. That's just my thoughts. It was just not the PLE for me that I thought it was. It was one of the PLEs. I missed some of it, and I didn't even go back and watch it. I was just like, it didn't seem like that. It was nothing exciting. I didn't see you didn't. All you heard was people. Even ESPN gave this a C. Far as I checked, last time I checked, yes, C is barely passing. That's not a passing grade. For last time I checked, you came home with a C. You know, okay, you wasn't in too much trouble, but your mom said, "All right, you need to bring that grade up to at least a B or an A." So that's just my thoughts, final balls. But go ahead. I know have a lot to say because you put me down back in the backstage. But go ahead.
Oh no, I'm tired of talking. Um, but I hear a lot of fantasy booking in there. All right. But as far as your comment about a C is not a great grade, no, it's not a great grade. A C is like what, like a 75, between 75 and 65. But maybe it was on purpose. Maybe this was the bar. Um, because when you overset the bar and you don't follow up and you continue to underdeliver, that's what we get, because that's what happened when they started to move Raw over to Netflix. We thought it was gonna be this whole big thing. We thought we were gonna get edgier product. We thought we were gonna get Seth fucking Rollins. Ooh, can we say that here? Why not? But we didn't get any of that. And I think WWE saw the feedback, they saw the reports, and they probably said, hey, let's go ahead and give them a realistic standard of what our product is. So you have to remember, this is a multi-year deal. I believe in, say something if I'm wrong. I believe it's a 5-year deal. Way bigger deal than Peacock. But I believe it's a 5-year deal, and we have just officially started that deal. We're not even starting it in the beginning of the year. We're starting it really towards the end of the year. With only a few months left before time for the new year. So we have a long way to go before the end of this deal. You cannot set the bar up so high where you can't continue to follow up to that magnitude. You just can't. You will lose interest from your fans. You will definitely lose interest from the partnership, from the networks, from the shareholders, because you promised us filet mignon and you gave us bottom chuck. That's the reality. And for me, taking out the wrestling fan of 25 years out and thinking as a business person, someone who, has a bachelor's, I mean, it makes sense. Give them what our product is. Have it reflect on what our product is, and that is this is it. I mean, we're going to give you what we have, and we have to be honest with ourselves and let the big people know at ESPN and any other shareholders or partnerships that, hey, we are now in a transitional period where we are losing legends because they are retiring, or some of them are on their last few runs, and some of them may not even make it to the end of the contract deal with ESPN because they're on their last few years in the company. And we don't have all of those major stars. We don't really have the legends in the making right now. Yeah, we have the Braun Breakers, of the world, and we have the Stephanie Valkyries, of the world, and the Roxannes, but they're not in that same capacity yet. When I look at the names I just mentioned, is potential there? Oh, absolutely. But are they going to be the ones that people are going to pay $30,000 to see? No, we want to see them, but that's not going to. I mean, I wouldn't pay $30,000 to see Braun Breaker and Stephanie Valkyrie. Would I want to watch them? Yes. So I'm going to pay, a house payment on it? No. I mean, that's where we are now. If you would have said that about Undertaker years ago, people would have, right? Because he had the streak. If you would have said that years ago, about HBK, we would have. Even really, maybe even your Batistas, your Randy Ortons and 09s. I mean, maybe. But now they're not, because they're not built yet, because we can't build them all the way up yet, because we still have legends that are in the process of taking the next steps in their careers. We have to kind of work on them, push, get them their last good runs, and then we can focus on this newer talent. So we're in a transitional period where, hey, ESPN has to know that in a few years we're not going to have all of these stars that people are used to seeing in a couple years. Yeah, you might see Taker come back, but he's older Taker now. Yeah, you might see Cena come back in 5 years, but he ain't going to be the Cena that we're seeing today. Yeah, we might see CM Punk come back in 5 years, but I mean, CM Punk already looks old now. I mean, yeah, he can move, but I mean, we know that he can't go down the ramp all the way, and he had to, get assistance there, and we know that he's in his 40s. But
some of these ramps are a little long now, Final Boss. Now, come
they
on.
are. They are, but I'm talking about as far as in ring fatigue, in ring stature. That's what I'm talking about. It's not about being healthy as you, the human, which they are. They're athletes, but I'm talking about in ring ability and presentation. They're not going to be the same people in 5 years. I'm not going to be this way in 5 years. You're not going to be the same way in 5 years. Will I still be great? I hope so. Hope that $1,000 I spend a month on crap actually works for something. But it is not guaranteed. We live in the now. So from a business standpoint, yes, I get it, because you have to show ESPN. I'm gonna, this is my last statement on it because we're talking about the last hour. what we have to actually offer. This is our product of today. Forget about the Attitude Era, forget about even Thunderdome era, the PG era, all the damn eras in between. This is the era that we are at right now, where this is the stars we have. And they already are well aware that, hey, Cena is going in a couple of months, and that's one of their major stars. We see how Taker looks, even though he's making appearances. He's not even putting up the get up, and he not doing a thing no more. The dead man gone. The dead man is dead. Okay, um, but uh, that's where we are. Um, But that's all I have to say about that. If you have any last thoughts about ESPN and how WWE delivered on this debut of a PLE for ESPN, go ahead. If not, man, there's a lot I want to talk about. Especially, I want to talk about what happened on Friday with Nia Jax in that promo. But yeah, I'm studying over words now because I have a lot to say. But go ahead, Miami.
Now, I do agree with you on a lot of things. Um, when you say that, yeah, it's a lot. We can we go like I said, we're gonna have a podcast where we got to talk about what happened with some of the booking. It's gonna probably be a topic that we got to discuss. I think we're gonna start making our talk it up be more like we're not trying to be biased with the WWE, especially is there's nothing going on right now. We try to go over the matches, try to give people our breakdown, our assess of what we see, our wrestling knowledge of what we have together. I have a little more than you do because sometimes you be like, "Who is this?" And I'm like, "Okay, I'm old." Sometimes I have to think about it. But you're so knowledgeable when it comes to wrestling too, so you be knowing your thing too, and that's one thing I do like about have you here on Talk It Up. But yeah, we're gonna talk about what's next for
Well, that's not the case. The case is because Miami's a lot older than me. He's been watching it longer than me. So that's
I
actually
mean,
accurate.
yeah, yeah, because I'm looking at.
And here we go. I don't want to talk about too much because we're gonna be here for
Oh
forever.
my
But
God, I
yes,
love it.
when
I
other
love the
people
art.
like me went on because the product was so bad during the Thunderdome era, Miami
Oh my
stayed.
God.
Yes, yes, we know, we get it.
I did not bring. I was not going to bring up that. I was
Oh,
going to
okay,
say,
because you used to bring
well,
it up a lot,
no,
and we get
I
it,
don't bring
Miami.
up the no, or because y'all are traumatized from it. No, I was just going to say that we're definitely going to talk about what's next for Brock. We're finna get into what you said, what happened on SmackDown. So let's talk about that. What happened on SmackDown? Because you said something with the Nia Jax. Nia Jax did a promo. See, I can't even remember. Was it
It
that
was the
bad?
Jade promo.
Okay, Jay promo.
Yes.
Well, see, Jay, if you know Jay, and this is where, because I know they're having a match, because we did know that Tiffany Boston performed at Palooza. It was going to be a while before she had did it. But come to find out, she had got injured because it was a spot that happened when her and Jade had the match. I'm guessing she had a concussion, so she had to miss a couple days. So it's not one of those bad injuries. But my thing is
Okay,
this.
that's news to me because I didn't know the state of the injury. I knew she was not clear, but I didn't know when she got injured and what the injury was. So
Well, from what I'm hearing, and I don't know if this true, is it happened when she had the J match. And I'm guessing she had a concussion, so that's why we're seeing her on Palooza. Which I'm figuring that could be true because when you have a concussion, you can still walk, you can still do other things, but you do have to miss some time. If anyone watched football, football players have to miss about 2, 3 games. So that's about quite about right because it's been about 2 weeks. So now she can probably wrestle. Now, so that's if it was a concussion, I can probably believe it. My thing is this: um, if Jay loses again, man, you got to switch her to Raw. That's one. Two, I do like Tiffany and Nia Jax. They do have great matches. They do have great chemistry. Something I was saying about EO and Rhea before you came on. So I feel like if you keep these two around each other, they can always step it up more and more. I feel like for some reason Nia and Tiffany are great together. I don't. I'm with you. I don't think no one's gonna beat Tiffany. Who's that person is? If it's not gonna be Jade, I don't know. It could we could circle back around Charlotte, but we all know about how that match went. I don't want to see that match again because I don't know if these two can be great at it. I would not be surprised if Tiffany holds on to this title. But yeah, I know Jade is not very known for her promos, Final Ball. So that's no shock to me. But I would love to hear your thoughts about this Jade promo that you say you did not
Uh,
like.
it was a Nia Jax promo. It was not
I
a
mean,
Jade
oh, Nia
promo.
Jax. Oh, okay, I thought you said Jade. My
But it
bad.
was a Nia Jax promo about Jade. Now
Oh, okay.
Nia Jax's character work for me is usually pretty poor. It comes off as like she's supposed to be kind of like a heel, but she's always come off to me as being like kind of like this cacky lacky, click cacky, and it doesn't feel sincere. It doesn't hit for me. It's kind of similar to what they're trying now to do with Becky, or what they they're not now, but what they were doing with Becky during the build up of the match with Punk and AJ Lee, where this
Hmm.
cackles. That's been really Naya's gimmick gimmick or character, and it just doesn't come off great. I mean, I remember this one time where she was backstage at Raw, and not Raw, SmackDown. She was like, "Ugh, that's rude." I'm like, why put that on TV? Um, and now it's her line, right? But this particular promo was very good, and it was interesting, but it also put some concerns for Jade. The reason why I say that is because people have been saying for a long time, and I'm one of the ones that agree with this, is that Jade has a very good look. She is absolutely fit. Her skin is great. She has a nice height on her as well. I don't know how tall she is, but she seems to be a decent height. And she's always looked that way. I remember her from AEW, right? Because I was watching heavily. But her in-ring skills, she's newer, weren't the best. She was more of a power move, that's it, which can be good, because we've seen it in male wrestlers, we've seen it in female wrestlers like Nia Jax, because they're a powerhouse. That's what they do. They do a few power moves, and you get a little bit of offense on them, and they get a whole bunch of power moves, and then they usually win the match. They put up as strong. But with her, she had a number of bumps and botches, um, and her matches weren't great. So they had this great idea to put her with someone that was of similar stature, which was Bianca Belair, because as you can see, she is in immaculate shape as well. Also, height appears to be also pretty good as well. So on paper, you have these strong women. I don't want to put race in there, but we have these two strong women who are powerhouses. Now Bianca, she's also has a lot of of stigma in her as well, so that's also really great. But power. So they put them together, and it was great for them. And it's the idea is to help Jay, help her learn the ropes of wrestling. I mean, you have everything there, you have to look for it.
Hmm.
And unfortunately, Bianca got injured, and the injuries is taking a longer time than what I had actually thought, because I said, "Oh, a hand injury, should be back in a few weeks," and it's been months now. So now we're in a place where, okay, we don't have Bianca. Well, we also had Naomi. Naomi is the opposite, right? She's not a powerhouse, but she's the athletic, in ring veteran. So hey, we could have her on Naomi, and she can, okay, being optimistic. Well, hey, we had you, with a powerhouse, like Bianca. Let's work on more athletic type of in-ring work with someone like Naomi, who's great at that. But then Naomi, came out that she's pregnant, which is also great, but she's going to be out for a long time. So now we don't have any of those two great wrestlers to pair with anymore. So it kind of left Jade on her own. So So we knew, hey, it's gonna be more on her now because we don't have the mentors around anymore, at least for the time being. And unfortunately, it seems like WWE has noticed. It
Yeah.
seems that they finally have noticed, because remember, with Jade, she skipped past NXT and went right to the main roster because she
Yeah.
had the look, she had the promise. I heard something about how she, said some things and talked through it, and that's why she, was pushed up to the main roster. Whether that's true or not, I don't know, but I read it somewhere. And it seems like now WWE has noticed. They have noticed enough where they had Nia Jax come out there and cut a promo and say exactly what we have been saying. You look great. You have a great look to it. I mean, you look like, the ideal woman's wrestler, the Glamazon, Beth Phoenix. But which is also known as Edge's wife, Edge Copeland. But once that bell rings, not the best. And she said it in the promo, and people booed because people love Jay. Why? Because she looks great. She's beautiful. And what did Nia Jax say to the crowd? Oh, you all know it's true, and she's not wrong. The problem is that this is not Nia Jax's, and it could be, but this is not usually a star giving their personal opinion that's coming from someone higher up in WWE giving that promo. So now it's implied that they know that her in-ring ability is not where it needs to be, and that scares me because I don't know what they're gonna do with Jay. In my mind,
I don't know.
it
Yeah.
it tells me that WWE is pretty much about to be done with her. Yeah,
Yeah.
she'll have some good matches, but it's pretty much like we're not going to give her the push anymore because they noticed. They have officially noticed now because they put it out in a promo. And the funny thing is that if you go to my page, which again is at Final Boss Baby, that's BBYCFO on
At
X.
the bottom. At the bottom.
My X and nowhere else. So don't try to look me anywhere else because you won't find me, right? But oh shit, I lost my train of thought. Oh, okay.
You talking about Jaden?
I got it. I'm getting old, but not that old yet. Thank God. But
I see what you did there. Don't look. It happens sometimes. Leave me alone.
we know about you. Once that thought is gone, it'll be gone for a couple days. We'll have to see you next talking up episode. Maybe two more down the line. We might see you when we have our special guest or when we do our exclusive things, and that's coming down the pipeline. So get ready for that. But back to what we're saying. We'll talk about that later. Stay tuned. But anyway, but yeah, it's crazy to me how WWE would have someone come out there and cut a promo like that. That kind of opens the eye of what they are now seeing and how they feel about Jade. And they have that promo cut by someone that ain't good either. I mean, Nia Jax, is she better? Yes.
Yes.
Is she
She has
safer?
got better.
Yes. Is she great? No. I have seen this girl have matches on SmackDown where she starts off slow. Now she picks up, but she starts off slow, like she doesn't want to be there, and then she picks up and she gets into it and she's fine. I do love one of her moves, which is the Samoan drop. I think that's a great move, especially for a female of that size. It is a great move. I love that move for her. I want to make that very clear for all Nia Jax fans who probably want to leave the damn lie because I'm talking shit right now. But they are, right? But I do love that move. And she did all that the week prior. And then you see her get up from the move because she did outside the ring, and she's holding on to the edge of the apron for support because her body hurts from taking the move. So, yeah. And, Nia Jax, again, she's not the best in the ring, which I kind of get because she's meant to be a powerhouse type of character because she's really tall for a female. She's 6'1". She is probably the biggest female on the roster. She's 275 pounds last time, I seen the bill weight for her, which is big for a woman. Is it big for someone that's 6'1"? Maybe not, but is it big for a woman? Absolutely yes. Most women are, around the 5'5", 5'6" range. I'm on the taller side. I'm 5'9". But am I 200 pounds? No, I'm like 158. So, having someone that is, bigger like that is kind of a anomaly, right? But, she's meant to be like a powerhouse, which is what she is. So I get that. Power moves, match done. Similar to like a Brock Lesnar style. That's what Nia Jax style is supposed to be, similar to a Brock Lesnar. But Jade, on the other hand, is a more fit physique that can also be a powerhouse, but the moves set is just not there. And to have someone like Nia Jax, who is not the top of the game wrestler, yes, she was trained in the PC Center. Yes, she didn't have a wrestling background. Yes, her prior background was her being a plus size model, and she was just trained by the Performance Center, and she is the second cousin to Rock, and whoop, here you go. I get all that, but at the end of the day, she's been around for multiple years, and she's gotten good enough to pass, but not good enough to accelerate. Is how I feel about Nia Jax. Now that's a big improvement because remember, she was on that release list years ago, and she was brought back. She had a lot of injuries to other wrestlers years back, and she has come from that and is doing pretty well. As far as being safe, but to have someone that is not like a Becky or someone that's not like, well, I would say a Charlotte in her prime, to have someone that's on that tipping scale of not being the best athlete, but having something there, which for Nia Jax really is her look because she's a powerhouse female. To have someone that also has a look and is not on the higher level of wrestling ability come out and cut a promo like that on someone who also has a look and not also on the higher spectrum of in-ring ability, to me, is absolutely crazy. That is crazy. I have a lot of concerns about Jade. Again, she's probably going to have a lot of matches, good matches, but I don't think we're going to get that Jade push anymore. I don't think we're going to see Jade as champion. I think all that is gone. And with that being said, I mean, another powerhouse, which I love, which she is more of a moveset girl, and she's also on the bigger side, and that's Piper Nivens, but we're hearing reports about her. We're hearing that she has a neck injury, apparently, and they're concerned that it may be a career-ending type of injury. And we're hoping that's not. Yeah. That's what the
I didn't
BB's
hear
feeling right
that.
now. Yeah.
Oh
So,
man.
and Piper Niven, she can move. She reminds me more of a Kevin Owens on the stockier side, but she couldn't hell. She's doing a cannonball like Kevin Owens. So really, yeah. She's more of a move set, but a mover set, but a bigger wrestler. Um, And so now that, she's out, and then we have people like, Naomi, who's great, that's out with, she's pregnant, but she's out. And Bianca, that is, a mixture of powerhouse and of athleticism, is also out because she has a hand injury.
Mhm.
I mean, this is where we are. And I feel like either if Bianca and Naomi were still there, either you have Jade kind of fly under the radar like she was and be fine, or it'll be noticeable and they would have not even used her at all because they would have used the Naomis and the Biancas. But at the same time, I can kind of play devil's advocate where, because they're gone, now we're starting to see the light. It takes some people to leave when you start showing cracks. You see cracks when someone is gone. Those two are gone. So now Jay can't fly under the radar anymore. Now, with
Yeah.
that being said, yeah. So with that being said, I did like the segment. I love the promo for Nia Jax. For me, this was my favorite Nia Jax promo. Besides when she had that bit years ago when, oh, my hole. But I hope you guys remember that, right? But this was my favorite Nia Jax promo. I thought that Jay coming out there and attacking her was also really, really good by Jay. She looked great. A lot of butt there. She out there wearing thongs, I guess. But again, it's to really show her physique, and which is, again, she's proving what Nia Jax said. She has that look. She is strong from literally from head to toe. It's all muscle, right? So she looked great coming out there, but it's just the matches. Now, the promo work is hard for a lot of people, for men, for women, for newbies, and even for people somewhere in the middle. But it's the in-ring work. You can always find a mouthpiece. If they really want to, you can always find somebody there to be a mouthpiece. I mean, look at Gilia and, was it Kiana James? I think is her name.
Yeah, Keanu James. You're
Kiana
right.
Jordan.
No, I thought it was James.
Okay.
Maybe it's James. I thought it was James.
Yeah, but yeah, she has, yeah. So she's a manager, and she's also wrestling, but she is now the manager, the mouthpiece for Gilia, because Gilia already has the in ring. She just didn't have the promo skills, so now they have her a mouthpiece. So you can have someone be a mouthpiece, but you can't have someone do the in ring work for you unless you're in a tag team. But what happens with tag teams? What happens is that they eventually break them up, and then your talent or lack or places where you're lacking will start to show. And that happened years ago with the Usos when they had that match at WrestleMania. There were a lot of pieces that were shown there, and they both said that it wasn't a great match and it was kind of rushed in time and things like that. But we saw a lot of pieces. Like, for me personally, I think that Jimmy is a better promo, but I think Jay is better in ring. I think when you put them together, it's great. I love the Uso Penitentiary. I don't know why I'm smaller now. But I love the Uso Penitentiary. But that's what we are for Jade. So either we have to put her in a tag team again and find her a place to be, or she is going to have to do a lot of in-ring work to prove WWE wrong about her in-ring ability, or else, who knows? And with that being said about in-ring ability, yeah, it looks like, we're going to go back to Raw for a second. It looks like they're going to do something with Maxine. And she had that backstage segment with the Ultimate Drip Daddy, also known as Scrap Daddy, also known as Adam Pearce. She wanted to do something, and Adam Pearce said that he looked for something for her. And again, she looks great. Have you seen her physique? Because she's pretty damn tall, and she has abs and everything, and she has a good face. But her in ring is kind of, newish. She hasn't had a matches for me to even say if it's good or bad. She had that that very high match for her against Becky. Of course, she lost, but it was a opportunity for her. Um, but they're using her now, so we're gonna see her. We're gonna really see what her in ring ability is now. Maybe she was training more, and now she's better.
Yeah, I was saying that too
Yeah.
earlier.
So yeah, maybe that's what it was, which is great. But for Jade, could be the same thing. I think honestly, I think Jade has such a great look on her. I think that if they are really concerned about how her in ring ability is, I think the best thing for her is to have another write off angle, write her off TV, and then put her back in the PC, and then bring her back. I think that'll be the smart thing. I think we can have Nia Jax annihilate her, and she can come back in a few months and pick up some new tricks and some new trades, and we'll just refresh it from there. Unless you want to put her in a tag team. I mean, to be honest, I mean her service is missing someone. They're missing Piper Niven because, like we talked about a few moments ago, she is out with injury. So now her service is just Alba Fire and Chelsea Green, and and Alba's been having some matches now, which she hadn't had a match before in a long time. It was mostly Piper and Chelsea. Now you're starting to see her get back in the ring. Reminds you of the old NXT days. But technically they're down a person now. In storyline, she's on a secret mission is what Piper is on, which is kind of a good way to write her off, I think, characterized storyline wise. But I mean, there is some teams that Jay can go to. I mean, hey, Alexa and Charlotte have a team, and this is a good example. And I'm going to shut up in a second because I'm talking for the last 45 minutes. But a good example of this was Charlotte. Charlotte, she was everything before she got injured. Everything. Natural selection, figure eight, the queen. And then she got injured. She came, and these were career ending style injuries that she got. And she, made it through, and she came back, and her match wasn't what we thought it was going to be. Subsequently, her matches after that weren't as bad, but they weren't great. And they tagged her up with Alexa Bliss, and they gave her a whole new light. Remember, they tried to do babyface with Charlotte, and she was booed, so they had to go back to her being a heel. But now she's in this tag team with Alexa, and it's great, because I'm pretty sure she's still learning how to adjust to not having certain parts of her knee, which I forget in the medical term. She had like a ACL issue and also a meniscus and something else type of issue. But she's still adjusting to working with, how her body is now with the knee injuries. But now she has a tag team partner, which is Alexa Bliss, that can kind of, overshadow those shortcomings. I think, with Jade, if she has shortcomings, put her with a tag team. Find someone for her. Who that is? Well, that's a question for Miami the Great. But what is your thoughts on the Nia Jax promo? What are your thoughts on Jade? And what are your thoughts of where Jade can go from here?
Jay cannot lose this match. I'm with you on that. If Jay loses this match, she's gonna be buried. Um, you're right. Now Naomi's pregnant. I don't. I think Bianca's okay because we did see her at the press conference when they announced it. WrestleMania 43, and her hand. She didn't have nothing on her hand. She was up there doing some the press.
Well, wait a
So
minute now. I'm gonna stop you right there just for 1 second, because she was up there doing a press conference, but so was Liv Morgan, who's not back yet, and so was Undertaker, who was not back yet.
Liv didn't have on nothing either. So that, and from what I'm hearing, these are two people that since
Well,
they've been gone,
Well,
It
wait a
hasn't
minute
been. The
now.
women's division has not been the same. Let's just
Wait a
call
minute
it what it
now.
is.
Well, they were at a press conference, not for this year's WrestleMania, for like next year's,
It,
next of
it, it,
next year's WrestleMania.
I understand that, but that's not my thing. My thing is, okay, I was looking at, okay, is somebody gonna come out here with a sling? Is it something on your hand? I didn't see none of that. So now it's got me saying, well, are they coming back anytime soon?
Well, hold on now. Have you ever just thought just for a second? I'm gonna shut up. I promise. Right? That maybe WWE said, "Hey, can you guys take off your medical devices because we don't want the king to see
Well,
that
no.
we are having
Well,
injured wrestlers on
well,
the show."
I don't think they would do that because if that could cause your
I don't think WWE care. This is
yeah,
a
well, well, no,
billion
yeah,
dollar
those
type
two
of
they do
thing.
care because you see the stories now, they need them.
No,
I wouldn't think they would risk it.
nah. This is the same company that brought back Brock Lesnar. This is the same company
Well,
that is still having that deal with Saudi. We
that's
thought
a
it was
whole
over. They give him a bigger show.
those are whole different decisions. That it seems like, well, they probably
Nah.
because you could have had Rhea up there. I'm pretty sure the King likes Rhea, so I don't think that's the case, Funnaballs. You had Charlotte up
Well,
there. You had
no,
Charlotte up there,
because
so
it's
I don't
not like
think
they're
that's the case
putting them
either.
no, they're not putting them in any danger because
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
not
yeah. No,
wrestling.
I'm not saying
But
that.
it's the
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying from
it's
what I seen, it looked like they was okay.
it's the appearance of them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Maybe they
yeah. The
didn't want
appearance.
that to look bad. I mean, I don't. I mean, I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. Okay, I'm not gonna want to have a major announcement, which is what Triple H has. What he promoted it as. We have a major announcement
Oh
like
Lord.
3 o'clock, and that's what it was, right? Now, I would not want this major announcement for really, let's be honest, for their biggest deal, which is Saudi Arabia. That's the biggest money they make. It's either it's gonna make you or it's gonna break you type of money. That's how it's always been since this whole deal started. From a business standpoint, you do not want to have people in that press conferences with medical devices on. You want people over there with walkers
Well,
and wheelchairs and neck
you got
braces
other
on.
stars. You got other stars. You could have got Tiffany. You could have
Well,
got
I don't
you
know.
have other
Well, I
people
don't
on
know
there.
if. Well, I don't know. Well, it could be because, like you predicted that those people, which was going to be, Liv Morgan and Bianca, will be there, for that WrestleMania. However, because it's a while away. We're looking at a year and a half, right?
Hell,
They're going
that's
to be
their biggest stars right now
probably at
because
that
look at where the
WrestleMania.
stars at.
However, we do not. It will not be in great taste if we show these stars with medical devices on. It does not look good. So that's another reason why. Now they're not going to need those medical devices. We would hope and pray by time it's time for that WrestleMania. They were there because they're probably going to be at that WrestleMania, but it's the appearance of it. Now I could be
I
wrong, but I
I
mean,
mean, I could be, but
I wouldn't.
I feel like by now because they were saying I was in. Remember, they was projecting Liv to come back around November anyway. We're close to November anyway, so she probably pretty much is okay. Bianca's been injured since Mania, so and it's just her finger, so she should be probably close to coming back. I don't think it would have been that serious. So those two, like I say, I feel like they're almost near coming back, but they're probably Triple H is saying take their time with doing what they're doing. Um, before we
Oh, wait. I want you to talk about, because I know I interrupted you a lot, but I want to kind of get you back on track because one of the things you were talking about was since Liv Morgan and Bianca have been absent, that the women's division has changed. It is not the
yeah, it
same.
has. It
So go ahead and
has.
talk about that.
Well, I just feel like, and this is what I was saying earlier before you came in, because I was saying that there's another promotion now. There are many promotions that got tag team titles, but I feel like women's tag team titles. But I feel like this other promotion is really going to put stock into their women's titles. WWE since Sasha Banks, that's what her name was in WWE, and Bailey had those titles. I don't really feel like they meant that much no more. I feel like they're not the type. And here she goes, changing the screen, just taking us off. I don't know what she's doing, guys. She's playing with the stuff. She's just taking us off. What's wrong with her? Who knows? There, just leave it there. It's okay. It's nice. It's neat. It looks. We can see the whole screen. Stop it. Stop it. This is what's just like a kid at a candy store. Jesus
Was
Christ.
at the makeup store.
Oh, that too. But no, I feel like that this division has changed. I don't know. It's just the women, even in NXT, it has not been the same. Now, yes, they got Blake Monroe. Is that the name, Blake Monroe? Okay, make sure I said it right. Yes, they have a lot of good, okay stars in NXT, but it seems like even down there, things have changed. It was one point I was like, let some NXT stars win those tag team titles, and they made me more. But I don't think that one of my ideas before you came in, and before we come down to a close, is I was saying defend those women's tag team titles on TNA and AA too, even though AA has women's tag team champions and also TNA, but still defend your titles on there. Even go against those tag teams to prove that, hey, WWE has the best tag team across the board. That's what I feel like they should do with these titles. Now, now Alexa and Charlotte has been doing well. Because they have been doing singles, they have been putting these titles on the line. I do like the way they're going with the titles. I just don't know who you put these on now. It does look like they're putting EO and Rhea. We had someone earlier saying they would love those tag team, them to tag together. They could be next. They could be tagging next where you have EO and 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 Rhea tagging together. So I would love to see those with the tag titles. I don't know. See, I can know who perfect for the Raw titles. I say put on Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. I feel like they can elevate that division for when it comes to Monday. Because it seems like they're doing something different with the Usos. I don't like they tag the Usos back together so quick just to elevate this tag team. I feel like Reed and them was there for them to carry this division, but it doesn't seem like we might be going with a different story maybe with Jimmy and Jay. We'll have to see. But these women tag team titles are going to have to they're going to have to step it up quick, fast, in a hurry, final boss, like really quick. I don't know if you wanted to get into Brock Lesnar because we got a few minutes, but I did have an announcement. I don't know if you heard it, but if you want me to announce it again, I will say it again if you want me to.
Yeah, and there's a lot to unpack here. So, hey, we're gonna have some time because I apparently was late because I was told 6:30.
No, we will
But
not because we got only 20 minutes and NFL comes on.
okay, my bad.
So you only got 20
But
minutes.
um, well, what do you think? What do you think about? Well, I don't. Well, hey, you watching that, but you don't do the lives anymore with CJ. But
Hey,
what do you think
hey, that's
about?
not my fault.
What do you think about Jay and about where they're going with her? And then I did want to talk about the dissension with Seth and Becky because we saw that kind of play out a little bit more on Monday. But again, before we get there, and that's probably going to be probably around our last topic besides Brock Lesnar. But yeah, what do you think they're gonna do with Jade? Do you think this is it for her? Do you think this is just a way to elevate the story between her and Nia Jax, or you think that's how WWE really feels? Like what's your real opinion on that?
Well, with Jay, let's switch her to either one or two things. Because I know we're not having a draft now because we're almost at the end of the year. So I guess this draft thing is over with. So let's just wrap it up. Either you're gonna switch over, you switch over. So that's the draft, boys. So let's sit there. But if I was them, I'll either put Jay on Raw or TNA. Because TNA could be good for her too, because TNA is kind of like that NXT type of thing. Even drop her down to NXT. There's nothing wrong with going down there and coming back and building her up to be that dominant woman that she was at first, because I was not suspecting this run from Jay. It feels like now Bianca and Naomi is gone, she's not that star who we thought she was going to be. Remember, we got teasers of her maybe trying to face Becky, Charlotte, um, possibilities of her and Bianca. We was real excited about that. Now, Final Balls, I'm like, there's no way if you have her and Bianca face each other, I'm not going to believe she's going to beat Bianca. There's no way. Because I'm like, you've built her where she's not that character where I feel like she's strong anymore. Um, Now is that WWE's fault? Yes. Now can you book her? Can you book her to be back a star again? Yes. But you have to build her back right. Either switch her over because she's been on SmackDown for quite some time. Let's put her on a new brand. Let's give her a new run, and let's give her a new something. You don't have to switch the character, but let's give her a better run. We've seen this with a lot of stars back in the day, where stars have switched to another brand, and boom, they have broke out and been this major star, and we're like, where has this been at? Carmelo,
Example.
Carmelo Hayes is one great person that they need to start doing that. Example is a person like when they brought Kevin Owens up. Kevin Owens, he was on SmackDown for a while. Kevin
Mm-hmm.
Owens wasn't that star until he came to Raw. We was like,
The list. The list.
remember they did the angle with him, and we thought Triple H was about to turn on everyone.
Yep.
He pedigreed
Mm-hmm.
Seth Rollins, and we was like, what the heck is going on?
Mm-hmm.
Even Kevin Owens won. It was still the red title at the time. One, two, three,
Mm-hmm.
and we was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
That told us there that
Yeah.
KO was the guy. That didn't happen until he
Yeah.
was on Raw. Now he had a great run on
Well,
SmackDown.
remember also they kind of replayed that back when he was on SmackDown
Yes, yes,
towards the end, before
yeah,
he got out with his injury, where he was
yeah,
just kind of like this disheveled KO, and he was all up in Triple H's face, and
yeah,
we thought they were gonna have a freaking match.
yeah, yeah. I did. I was like, oh my god. I would love to see, even though KO's got hurt, and we don't know because we know Big E. And now you're
And
telling me Piper
speaking
and
of getting hurt,
KO neck injuries. That's really like, man. Where I hope they can come back. I
you,
love to see KO come back, but I don't know.
speaking of injuries, do you now remember what Brock did to Corey Graves?
Mhm.
Do you think they go somewhere with that?
Well,
Because
I've been
because remember, they went somewhere when it came to Gunther and Pat
and
McAfee. They had a match.
well, it's been a while since we see Corey Graves in a ring. Now we have seen
Oh,
Pat.
it's been decades
It's
because
been decades.
because
So
Corey
would
Graves
I
was
be
in NXT. He never
now?
made it to the main roster.
I'm not gonna lie, Final Balls. There's not gonna be no freaking chance Corey Graves can last what 20 minutes a match with Brock Lesnar. I'm not gonna believe in that. Let's just call it. Let's call a spade a spade.
It'll be a squash match. The whole point is
Well,
you think
see,
there'll be a
but see,
match.
my thing is, what was the point? What was the point? Because
Well,
I mean, if
well,
Corey
well,
Graves
well,
is coming
well, what was
back,
the point of Gunther and Pat McAfee?
well, Pat McAfee and Gunther went quite some time. They really actually went longer than we thought. Final Balls. I remember you saying that on this show. They're saying, man, they
Yeah,
went over
but
the time
but
that
what
you
was the
didn't even
follow up
see.
after that? Absolutely nothing.
Well, it was more of he earned Gunther earned it, Pat McAfee's respect. Because remember, Gunther shaked his hand.
For
Gunther went
what?
on and started doing it.
For what? What respect? He's a announcer. He's not a
Well, see, that's the whole thing. Announcer those supposed to give this cup, this great decent competition to be in the ring with
so
me.
what
Because he's
that
supposed to be the
means.
ring general.
So what that means is that what you're trying to tell me is that they're talking about earning respect from wrestlers to like the regular employee team, like the announcers.
Yeah.
So okay, so they're gonna have to start beating up the interviewers backstage, and what that also means, they're gonna start beating up the cameraman, the maintenance man,
Well, they
and that
already
when
do
they do,
that.
and that well, the referees we know, but
Yeah.
when they do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
When he beats up Corey, well, Rock, did beat up Corey Graves. So
Mm-hmm.
now that he's earned the respect, right? That he has to come out there and say every time when he grabs the microphone, you know what? That announcer, Corey Graves, he earned my respect. I mean, what?
No, no. You don't look. It was not in a promo. I'm not saying like, cause that's like, okay, if you're doing that, if you're going to do that promo, you're
Man,
turning
I
this
swear,
character babyface.
Miami must be in the ballroom. He must be a part creative, man, because he
What? I
sees the
mean,
point.
I'm just thinking. Look, I'm giving them a way out. Look, I have not been. I can't figure out this booking because we're right now. I'm where you're at. Where now we're just having matches to have matches. What's the whole point of this
Well,
Seth
hold
Rollins
on
and
now.
Cody match? This is
I'm
full
gonna be
time.
now.
What the point?
I'm gonna be in the showroom just for a second now. Hold on. Well, with ESPN, which is a sport network, we are
Mm-hmm.
sports. The key word, the first. Remember, when you read an ingredient of something, that first something is the main ingredient, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what's WWE? Sports is first.
Mm-hmm.
Entertainment. The sports is first.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're ESPN. So you can have just matches now. It's great old wrestling. Just great graps.
I mean, it can work, but are you doing this storytelling in your matches?
No.
Are we doing that?
Well,
Cause
they are,
see,
but it's just not the same caliber. It doesn't have that same depth anymore.
well, see, it'll fall flat. It'll fall flat for me because it's like one thing I loved about Roman after the pandemic and before the pandemic is when he used to talk trash in the ring. And I was so worried when the crowd came back. I was like, we're not going to hear this. But they made a way where you could still hear Roman talking trash. I'm going to beat this guy. I'm
Yeah.
going to
When
hurt
they had to
this
get the
man.
close
You can
up.
hear it. And I
Yeah,
was
the
like,
close
oh
ups.
my God,
Yeah,
this
the
is
close.
good. I feel like if you do that with these wrestlers, you have to do that to get us back invested into these matches. Because if you don't, then it's like we're just lost. Now I've been loving the solo promos. The solo promos have got me so invested that I'm
Well,
like, what are we doing?
I didn't like the last one. I liked it the first.
Really?
Nope. I liked the first one. The one.
Really?
Yeah, I liked it. I liked the first one, the one from the week before last. I did not like this last one. I
Really?
was kind of
That's what
disappointed.
we see. This is why I love talking about. This is where we come at odds because I loved it. I love this
Man.
one. I love the second one more than I love the first one because now it got me saying, Tonga, what do you mean? Like, is he finna go for a championship? What championship is he
I didn't
going
like
for?
that. He said,
I
yeah, I didn't like the whole, well, he's the only loyal one and I'm going to give him a chance. I didn't like that.
well, guess the reason why I liked it because remember, out of everyone in this group, Tonga was the first person. Remember when Roman left, when the whole bloodline went apart, him and his brother was always by Solo's side. They never turned on him. They never showed dissension. So that what made me like this promo. My thing is what I liked about it, and I'm going to tell you the reason why I liked it is because now I want to know where is this story going? It keeps me invested. It's just like Jimmy and Jay. Their story. I want to know where are they going next in the story. It sounds like you listen to the collective, so shouts out to the collective. I guess that's who you listen to
Yeah,
when you want to dip
and when we go off, you can go get it with
Shouts
them.
out to them. I know
Yeah,
I know
so
that voice from anywhere, but shouts out to them. Hey, special appearance on Talk It Up. Shouts out to y'all guys. Y'all go watch them on YouTube. Yes, they're
yeah. So
great
when we're
podcast.
done with this episode, we're about to wind it down now. Go over there and visit the collective. Join the collective.
Yes, I knew that voice from anywhere. But that's my thing about And like I say, I want to really have a podcast where we talk about this storytelling now has not been the
Yeah.
same. I was not. I was like, man, I did
Well,
not like the idea. Was just put in matches and go at it. You
well,
cannot
hold
do
on.
that.
Because storytelling, because we forgot, you forgot one of the questions I asked you. How do you feel about this? And we talked about it a little bit earlier, but how do you feel about the storytelling, this tension between Becky and Seth Rollins? Do you think it's
Oh
actually going somewhere?
well, see. Oh yeah, I meant to tell you. I forgot about that, but I don't know. Funny boss. It was kind of when they did the
And
promo the first
well,
time, and she was
let's paint
like,
the picture first. So for those who missed it, right? There was a segment. It was um a backstage segment where okay, this guy said WE is crap, and he's very vocal about that. But there was a segment backstage where you have Seth Rollins sitting there looking at the watch that you talked about. Um, and you have Becky just pacing back and forwards, basically frustrated. And she's just talking and saying, they should respect us. We should do this. We should do that. And Seth is just sitting there staring at the watch. She looks great, but she leaves. And then he just kind of looks up with like this frustrated, evil looking glare. And it's weird because remember during the match, Becky attacked herself in. So I'm like, or are we going somewhere with this? And if we are going somewhere with this, where can it go?
I that's the part I want to know because it was really like when she, like you said, the first one where she was like, "You put me do this, da da da. I'm the reason why. You're the reason why I'm in this match." I was like, "Where we're gonna go?" But when she did the promo this Monday, and she was talking, Seth was like I say, he was looking at his watch and seemed like he was more focused on Cody. I don't know where you go with this because they're married. Um, you can't do an angle where she's gonna. I mean, maybe like you said to me on the phone, where you saying, "Oh, I'm the man," da 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 da, this and that. So I don't know if you go that angle, but it's just really interesting that I, I don't know what where we go with what they're gonna do. It's really the angle that we go with these two has to be where you either going to do a storyline where you kind of do a breakup angle. Maybe that could bring us a shot factor, but we're gonna do some kayfabe thing. Because Becky and Seth are really good in doing kayfabe, but you just put them back, you just put them together. I thought this was like a Seth and Triple H. They might I remember they might do something like that because I remember that I think they did do an angle with Stephanie and Triple H where Stephanie turned on Triple H. So they might could do something like that. I forgot it was an angle way back in the day where they did
But
something like that, but they can do that.
what is on? Let me go ahead and put this up here real quick, just because we had that little finasco. Hi, Lou.
I don't
Say hi,
know who
Lou.
that was.
That's who cares. But hi, Lou. But that's why we're on here, because we can control the trolls. But and granted, hey, he did have a little bit of a valid point. We talked about this. The product ain't where it should be. But yeah, going back to the Becky and Seth. If you have Becky turn on Seth Rollins,
Mm-hmm.
what are we gonna do? Because one, they don't run anything. They're not like it's not like it's Stephanie and Triple H where they're the authority and they run something. They don't run anything.
Well,
And
well, well.
and
Remember when? Well,
I
no,
don't
no,
think
no. This ain't gonna be no like authority type of thing.
But what are they gonna
Remember,
do? They can't have no match.
Seth and Triple H was teaming together
They can't.
before the authority final balls.
Well, okay, but if you have Becky, who is a female, turn on Seth Rollins, what is that going to do? Because Becky doesn't have any
I,
allies. She's a heel. She
I
doesn't
don't.
have any
Yeah,
allies.
I don't
Yes,
know.
Seth has
Maybe
allies
that's what they.
because
Maybe
he
that's
has the
the whole
vision.
angle.
It's not like Becky was in the vision and kicking her out. She never was. So I mean, what are you doing with it? Where is she
Well,
going?
maybe that's the whole angle of like we get to ask the who, the what, the when, and why. Maybe that's the whole intrigue of the story. Maybe I'm guessing because I don't know either. I'm with
Wow.
you on that. Like I don't know where we
I
go with
mean,
this.
we are really digging the barrels. Then when he said like the whole story is to figure out why. That's oh my
I
god,
mean, at
man.
the end of the day, I mean, we gotta be
Am I
real.
interested? Yes. Am I confused?
I'm not. I'm
Yeah,
not.
because I'm like, where can it go?
I'm not because
Now,
I'm like it can't lead to nowhere.
if she was in the vision, and then they had dissension and they kicked her out, that will make sense. Let's say you had Vision and you had another stable fighting each other, and then there's ascension here. She would turn her back on the stable and go to the other stable, but she's not in the
Hmm.
Vision. So what are you doing with it?
I don't know. That's the part
Like
about it.
let's say hypothetically, right? Let's say we had the Vision and her, and we have Judgment Day, and they had like a really good battle, and the whole thing was you have Becky having ascension with Seth, and then she causes him like a match or something, and then she jumps ship over to Judgment Day. That would make sense, but she's not in the Vision, and she don't have no allies.
Yeah.
So, and with that being said, God, there's so much. Okay, what do you think they're doing with Bailey now? Do you still like what they're doing with Bailey? Because when Bailey had that whole vignette style promo about, what has it gotten for her from her being the hugger, to the role model, I loved it. Now, she'll hug you and then she beat down Lyra. Are you still interested in the development of Bailey's character now?
Well, Bailey, it does have me interested because I'm like, well, the off and on does have me saying, where are we gonna go with this? Where will we lead it to? Because it seems like it's gonna be centered around Valkyria, and and I love her work where she's confused because she's like us. She's like, well, just a few minutes ago you was good, now you're not. So it's like, where is this gonna lead to? Um, I would love to see how they're gonna play this. Um, Shouts out to Bailey. Everything they give her, she puts her best foot forward. I'm hoping that she stays with WWE once her contract is up because I know someone's trying to get her to go somewhere else. But for her to be putting in this character and doing what she's doing, I still thought something was gonna lead to. I thought it was gonna be her and Becky um match, doing something in the match. Now, would she probably cause Becky to maybe let AJ win? Maybe because maybe that's why we're getting the back and forth. It's a good guy, bad guy, good guy, bad guy. The bad guy comes out, she beats down Becky, Lyra asks what's going on, and she turns back
Wow.
into the good person.
Wow.
Maybe that's maybe why they're
Well,
playing this.
that is an interesting angle.
They
I
might
didn't think
be
about that.
playing that's why they might be playing it funny balls because
Uh,
they're thinking like, well, oh, okay, she's going around. I love the hugger because we did miss the hugger, so
oh
we kind
Lord.
of got. I do like hugger and I do like her ding dong gimmick.
Oh my God. The
Those
ding
was for
dong.
me. I
Okay,
love
well,
those two
the good
gimmicks.
news for you is that Alexa Bliss is back, so they can do the whole ding dong thing if they want to.
Well, no, a lesser thing was more of the
Well,
sit down thing at the rim. That's
right,
what you're talking about.
right. Well, remember, um, not Becky. Bailey had the show, the Ding Dong Show. And one of her most famous guests during the Ding Dong Show was Alexa Bliss. It was on.
I remember that.
It was on SmackDown. She had the little
Yeah.
door and everything.
Yeah.
Ding Dong. Yeah, I hated that. No,
I loved it because it was
Jesus
like
Lord.
I liked it. It was like they never went
Man,
nowhere with it. I love the Ding Dong.
man,
I feel
I
like these
swear,
two gimmicks they got
I know
is
that
this.
Miami works a lot, but I feel like he is also working for WWE and creative because this is crazy.
No,
This is crazy. This is
blame me for
crazy.
that. Do
This is
not
crazy.
blame me for that, cause boy, I can put up some more stuff better than it. Cause
And
man,
then one of the last things I want to talk about, which I missed. Well, you might have talked about it because I wasn't here. I don't know. Probably was hell going on. If I was talking about me saying I'm late, and I told him 6:30.
no, I didn't say you was late. I said I had my special guest coming at 6:30, and it was you. So know your role. Shut your mouth and keep on talking. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
I know my role very, very well.
I see you at the
And
bar
that's
last night. Talking
but
about you was at the head of the table. You're not head of the table. I'm
yes,
head
I
of the
was.
table.
That was me sitting at the bar.
Oh, well, keep sitting at the bar while I'm sitting at the head of the table.
No. Hi, Chief. But
Jesus Christ.
but
I'm gonna let you have that one. All right.
I can have a lot of things. But the main event of Raw was, of course, we had the match with Rhea and Asuka. And we saw the turn of Asuka on Io Sky. We saw Asuka bark orders now, because now she's barking orders to Kairi Sane to attack Io Sky. And remember, this team used to be with Bailey, of course, used to be Damage Control. And of course, we had Dakota Kai, who's released. And so their friendship has gone on for a long time. Remember, even before that, we had the Kabuki Warriors, and everything. So, these, women in this group have had a long, time together. And we had the teasers for weeks now where Rhea was telling Io, hey, watch out for Asuka, because the whole picture is that Asuka is the bad person and she's more of the leader now, because as you saw, she's barking orders at Kairi Sane. And we got the turn. So did I like it? Yes. The problem is that, well, before I get there, I loved it because the story itself is initially interesting, because now we finally have, hey, Asuka is now, she's not really that Empress of Tomorrow character anymore. She is like this more like the leader now, because she's bossing around the other members, and she got them to turn on Io Sky. And of course she's a heel because she did the green mist, which I love, because it reminded me of the Tajiri days. So that's how I'm watching for a long time, right?
Great motor.
Yeah. So so the idea of the story itself is good. And I did also like that they had the footage of Io Sky covered still in the green mist and crying, and then her hugging Rhea. So I like that. I wish we could have saw that more so on TV, but of course that's what they do now, so it's fine. So I like that story. However, I don't like where I think the follow-up is going, because now we just know it's going to be Io Sky and Rhea as a tag team, and then you're going to have Asuka be the leader, of Kairi Sane. and they're gonna have a tag team and it's gonna have matches. So I love the story, but I don't like where it's gonna go because we already know where it's gonna go. It's just gonna be really Io moving away from Asuka to go with Rhea. But then what? I mean, granted, now ideally they'll go on to be this really good tag team of Io Sky and Rhea, because it looks like Rhea is going back to being that strong type of powerhouse again, because you saw her using the stretchy bands to work out the back. Her back is starting to look pretty big once again. Um, and of course, Io Sky is very, very great in ring. Like when you talk about in ring ability, that's Io Sky. That is Io Sky. So the potential, is there for it to be a good Franken team, which is when you mix people up together. Similar to like how we got Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. Would we have ever thought we would see Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss be a tag team together years ago? No. Would we have ever
No,
thought it would be Io Sky and Rhea Ripley together? No. These are Franken
no.
teams, right? Same thing like Rated RKO, right? Franken teams, RK Bro, Franken teams, or even the Bar, Franken teams.
Yeah.
But because there was a time where WWE was just taking somebody's name or someone's name, putting together, and boom, it's a tag team. Like they were doing that back in the day. But it's like I guess the whole thing it'll just be them just being a really good tag team, and it's having more women's tag team, which is what they need. But I mean, where else is it going? So, what's your opinion about how the main event went for Raw, and what do you think is going? And do you think it's a great idea? Do you like everything?
I guess I'll be repeating this again because I did say it in the beginning of the top of
Yeah, but
the
you didn't
video.
have my elements, and I'm pretty sure the same people weren't here 2 hours ago. So let's do it for the new audience, right? For
So
that late audience, for that
I did say I did like the pairing of Rhea and Io. I said it once again. Um, I did not like the main event. No, no shade on the women. It just it Raw altogether felt flat. I was not one of the best shows. They did do good building up Palooza, the first two shows, and then they said once Triple H said he was on vacation, it fell flat. And now it's got me asking, did he go on vacation again this Monday? Because that's what it gave me the same feeling again. Um, I'm with you. I did say I liked it. Asuka, she finally turned on EO because we seen it kind of slick coming. She got Kyrie to do it, but Kyrie, I love Kyrie. She was conflicted about what she was doing. It seems like she wants to get out, but um, Asuka's so dominant. Asuka's like, you can hear her call her trying to. She was apologizing to Rhea that when she was backstage, things like that. But the miss part had me blown because it was so much. Um, I replayed it. It was just because I guess the way it blew, because they were saying the way it blew, that's why I covered Rhea like that. And I guess when she was like, she was trying to like do like, I was saying that Miss mess with her eyes, but I guess by her doing it, it got her, I guess got all over her body. It was crazy. I'm not gonna lie, Final Boss. I would love to see the Miz from now on do this to a lot of Asuka opponents now, where it just cover them. Where it was like, oh my God, this is might be the most because we normally see it cover the people's eyes or face. We never seen it cover their face and whole body like Rhea. I would love to them to do this with Asuka to show that
Well,
she's more dangerous. She's more like psychotic, like crazy.
honest.
Like, oh my God, people are afraid to go
So
against her.
I'm not a big fan of the use of Miss since like years ago during like Chadiri and back in the day.
Great Muta.
Yeah. So I mean, I like it for Oscar because she wears the face paint. She's wearing the face paint for a while now because she didn't always
Yeah,
used to wear
yeah,
that.
yeah.
But I like the whole evil looking face paint now, and her doing it every match would be great for the character.
No, no, not now. Her do it in every match. That's when it's
Just
time, like certain time. I don't want her to do it every match. I want
well,
her to
you
do
gotta
it at
remember,
certain
no, but that's
times.
the whole point. No, that's the whole point of the miss is that you're gonna do is that they're gonna be like during the match, she's gonna do it. That's what the whole miss is for. That's like
Well, so you
one
want
of
her
their
to be
moves.
like, you want her to do it like to jury then, because the jury
Yes,
used to use
that's
it
yes,
every
yes,
time.
yeah, that's one of the move sets. So,
Well, I didn't really like when Tajiri used to do it all the time because it was
oh,
like suspected.
I
It
did,
was
because
suspected.
he'll give you like that roundhouse kick.
Mm-hmm.
You do the
Mm-hmm. And then
little leather pants
he
on,
hit
do a
you with,
little
yeah,
roundhouse
he hit
kick,
you with,
and
and he hit you with the
yeah,
miss.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I didn't like
Now I
that.
don't know if that's what it's called, but I call it a roundhouse kick.
Well,
But
maybe I don't know what it was called back
like the
then either,
roundhouse
but
kick.
yeah, it was
Um,
that was technically looked like the move. So you're right.
yeah, but yeah, I mean, I like it if she does do that. I think it adds more elements to her character. Unfortunately, I don't think that newer wrestling fans are going to get the idea of, miss on the face versus miss on the body. I don't even think even old fans are going to even like it as much either
Well,
because we know that it's a balloon filled with food coloring water now. So before we didn't know that. Like we didn't know that years ago. We didn't know what the mist actually was, but we now know it's the food coloring and water and the balloon that they pop.
mm-hmm.
So it kind of took out the whole mystique because before we didn't know what that substance was. We like, does it kind of burn? Like we know it was harmless because it's used in the ring, but we didn't know what it was. Like, does it burn a little bit? But now, us older fans know what it is. It kind of took away that mystique of it, at least for me. So I mean, I like how it looks, because it looks really bad because it's turned your body green, face green, and you gotta.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I mean, but the mystique of it is gone because I know in the day it's just water and food coloring and someone putting in a balloon. So I mean, maybe that's just me. I just me being like a, you know, what is it, a Debbie Downer, but or Debbie cakes, right? You like those snack cakes, but maybe didn't laugh, so I guess I didn't like that joke.
I
But
see what you did there. Yes, I do like my cakes. Leave me
yes,
alone.
no snack cakes. but but yeah, I mean, but I do like it for the character work, yeah. But really, when it comes to the green mist or just mist in general, I mean, I always consider that to be part of like their move set. I don't really consider it to be like a prop. A prop would be more kind of like a steel chair. I always
Mm-hmm.
consider the mist to be more of like part of their move set. Like Triple H, when he had the sledgehammer, that was really part of like his move set. You know, it wasn't like when Seth Rollins had that match with the Fiend and he brought out the toolbox. That was like a one-time thing. Like, but the sledgehammer and the mist, those were like actual part of, of like their like moves and stuff that they do. Um, so, hmm. I like it for Oscar. I think it gives them a new direction. Honestly, I haven't been this excited for a female storyline really since the whole, who pushed Jade story. This is giving me
Yeah.
that same character, right? That same caliber of interest right now.
Mm.
Yeah.
I mean, that's interesting. Like I say, I I liked it, but it didn't play. The turn wasn't one of those. Oh my god! It was just like, okay, what's gonna be next? Cause and I understand why they did it for the main event, but now it's just gonna put
Well,
Rhea and Io in the tag team. So
Well, the turn wasn't meant to be shocking. Like we knew it was going to be a turn because they kept teasing it. They kept having all those backstage segments with them, teasing the turn and having Rhea really kept warning Io Sky. about Asuka. And so
Mm-hmm.
we knew the turn was coming. We just didn't know when. And I think it I think it came really at the right time, not too early, not too late. I like that. But you really don't be surprised on turns unless it's not teased. Anytime a turn is teased, we know it's coming. We're just waiting for when. Like for example, when we had the famous Seth Rollins turn, we didn't know it was coming. It just came. That was why it was so surprising. But when you have a
Mm-hmm.
tease like this, like we knew it was coming. Same thing with, was it American Made? We knew it was coming. We just didn't know when. So that's kind of the difference. The story is not that, hey, it's gonna turn. We know you're gonna turn, but it's like where does it take you after that? And that's kind of, I guess, where it is. And I think this is also great for Io Sky because it gives her something to do now that she's not championing anymore as well. So remember that now, because we don't have any they don't have he doesn't have the championship anymore. So it's doing two in one is it's building up women's tag teams, and it's also giving Io Sky something to do now without the championship. And of course we're probably going to see Rhea and Stephanie eventually. But in that meantime, this is what we're getting. And even if Rhea is not successful on winning the title from Stephanie, this is also going to be what she's going to do after. Because then we'll ask, well, what now for Rhea? Because she lost against Stephanie Valkyrie. If she loses, I think she's going to lose because I think they want Stephanie to have a bit of a run with the title.
Real taking on Stephanie Valkyrie?
Well, no, I said eventually it's probably going to end up there. But my whole thing is that
Oh, if that happened at WrestleMania, they're gonna have Rhea beat her.
you think so?
Yeah,
I,
I think
I
so.
don't know. I
I
feel like
think
she's gonna
so.
hold it for a little bit because WrestleMania is
Well,
kind
well, well,
that's
well.
kind of quick. It's kind of around the corner.
She won it just now to
Mm-hmm.
Mania. That's really a long run because usually they don't let them
Well,
hold. What 6 months, 5 months? How far are we from April? That's, we're
yeah,
in
it's a while.
September. Yeah, so it's a while. September,
Yeah, I mean, but
yeah.
that's if they do it, at WrestleMania. So I mean, I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's it.
But
Well,
they do it before then,
no,
and
I wouldn't do it before then.
mm,
That's the only way I'll do it. Cause that's a big. You gonna have to. Which
well,
we
who you
already
think
seen
would
prices of
be?
matches
Well, really, I mean, I would more put maybe a Stephanie Valkyrie and AJ Lee for the match.
for Mania.
Yeah, I think that's the bigger match.
Really,
Yeah, yeah,
I would
yeah,
that kind of match. I would
yeah.
do for Chamber. Something
Because
for
you
like
wouldn't know who's gonna
Chamber.
win that match. You don't know if it's gonna be AJ Lee because he's finally back and she gets a chance to actually win a women's title versus because she had the Divas title back then,
I would have to
or
go with
or
Stephanie.
or if Stephanie's gonna actually hold it because she's so
I
dominant.
think they'll go
So
with Stephanie.
that the whole thing is that's your thought, but the whole thing is like it's the wonder that's behind it. I think that's the bigger match.
I think that'll be a good match for because I forgot Rumbles in
February.
Saudi, but
Hmm.
I think that would be a good match for Chamber.
Well, is it January now because it's in Saudi?
No, I don't know.
Mm,
I think they're gonna still do it in February
okay.
because remember Mania is at the end of still at the end of the middle of April, almost
Mm.
at the end. So I mean I would save a match like that for probably it doesn't scream Mania for me, but Chamber. Because we don't got
Mm.
no. Well, maybe I wouldn't even lie to you in front about Survivor Series, but we don't by then. AJ probably have the
Well,
IC
Survivor
championship.
Series is quick because that's in like November. We're already pretty much in
I
October
know,
now.
but see that was saying it's too quick. So that was
Mm.
say I say Chamber. You have enough time to build it for Chamber. That's if AJ gets the IC title and she maybe drops it on a regular show because they don't mind dropping it on a regular show. But
I like that emoji.
That's the one I think that will you would do that at. Cause I think Chamber normally I wish because now we know that no one main events if you win Rumble or Chamber no more. If it's a bigger star, bigger than
Well,
you, then you're not
you
going to main
still,
event
but
no
you
more.
still get a match.
Yeah, you still get a match, but you're not main eventing. They need to change that. You
Well, you
don't main
still get a
event no more.
match.
You
You
get
still
a
get a
match.
match.
Now they could say either they could switch it to this. They could say, hey, either the person who wins the Rumble or Chamber, either open co-main event, or you might get a chance to main event
Oh
because those are the
Lord.
three.
Oh
Well,
Lord.
those
No,
are
we
the three
cannot
biggest spots
advertise
now.
that. We cannot say, hey, the winner of the Rumble may be an opener, the co-main event somewhere in the middle, or you may main event. Like,
No,
come
no, 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 no. You don't do somewhere in the middle because the somewhere in the middle don't mean nothing no more.
Well, wait a
That
minute
doesn't mean
now,
nothing.
because if you go on, well, for me, in the middle means if you go on second to the main event. So the
Well,
match for the main
co-main
event
event.
for me.
Well, that's not no, that's not middle for me.
Oh
That's
well,
the end. That we are we
wow.
done. We
Oh Lord.
after co-main event. What's next? The main event.
Well, they're just gonna say, hey, you just get a match. You
Well,
get a
yeah, well,
match.
let's do
You
that.
get a
Might as
match and
well.
get them
Why
stages of
not?
them all. That's it.
Why not? Might as well. I mean, that's what it is now.
Mm.
Any last words?
Um,
Any last thoughts?
no.
Okay.
Um,
We've been going on
uh,
so long that collected ain't on no more. We told people go over
yep,
there.
yeah.
They
Oh
going
Lord.
off.
Oh shit. Well, make sure you watch the replay of that. Make sure you watch the replay of this.
Please. We have
Especially
many more
those who came
videos.
on later on, because the beginning, the top of the hour was, of course, opened by Miami, and I'm the main event. But
Oh, okay. I ain't nothing wrong with being the opener now. Hold
yeah,
up
you're the
now.
opener. You were the opener. You had
Hey,
30-minute match, 30-minute opener.
hey, hey.
You know,
Roman has
I'm
opened
pretty
a
much
lot of
being.
time. Oh,
Yep, and then you're pretty much
Roman
like
has
Seth
opened a lot
Rollins
of
now.
time.
Remember when Seth Rollins had the gauntlet on Raw and he went through all the people? Yeah,
That was years back.
yeah,
Oh, you went well
that's you
back.
now. Yeah, yeah. So that's you now, because you've been going on the whole time. And we hope to see the Golden Boy back very soon. We know he's dealing with some personal issues and with some tech issues. Same tech issue that Miami had so long ago.
Jeez.
Um, and
New
hopefully
York
they
know how
get
to
back to
get you,
talk
boy.
sports and to do some good betting. Um, and yeah, and hopefully we have some guests coming up very, very soon. Some you may know, some you may not know. Um, and I thought that Miami had some kind of announcement, but I could be wrong.
Oh, I didn't know if you heard you was in here. I was saying that AJ Styles, before you came on, did just announce on a podcast that next year will be his last year. He will be retiring.
Well, that goes back to what I said earlier on about, hey, WWE has to tell ESPN, like, hey, we are in this transitional period where people are moving to the next phases of their career, and they're and there we go, because now, hey, a lot of these stars are in their last few years of being full time, or even completely, even just part timers. Now they're in the last few stages. Like, I think all of our big names now are really on like the last 5 years now. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
all of them have like the last 5 years. Roman, Punk, Seth. We know Brock Lesnar ain't gonna stay too long. So
I wouldn't be surprised
Randy,
they should be here last year.
yeah. So I mean, we're in a transitional period now. So yeah, but the good news is that, hey, we was all thinking that this year was gonna be AJ Styles last year, and he gave us another year. So he doing the John Cena. Now should he do a 1 year run like John Cena and pray for the best? Maybe, maybe.
I wouldn't know who would be his last opponent though. I mean,
Who
John's
knows?
gone.
Who knows?
KO hurt,
Who,
so I don't
who
know.
knows? And you see what Cena going through. So
Oh Lord.
it's
Well,
whoever we have,
that's really
whoever's
bad.
available. Man,
That's really bad. Then.
his last opponent may be the Miz. Like who knows?
Well,
Or
as him
Truth.
and Miz had some matches together, I think they had some matches together. So that would
Mm.
probably make sense if I remember. Now I wouldn't be surprised if he brought Lesnar, because him and Brock had some feuds. So I mean, maybe.
Oh, that would be terrible because we have the same thing going on. So you mean to tell me we'll have a whole year run of AJ Styles and in his last 4 matches like Cena, he gonna have them. Oh my, you know what? On
Well,
that
hold
note,
up. Cena did do 4 matches against Brock. I just said one
oh
last match
well,
now.
Gray said Finn because the Bullet Club.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what?
Well,
Great
you
call,
know we can't have
Red.
Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson now because they're gone. So that ain't gonna happen. So
Well,
we can't have the Good Brothers anymore.
I would think that if they were going to induct him into TNA Hall of Fame, that's who we would probably ask to do it, to induct him. You know, that's what I would think. I don't know. That's just would be my guess. But yeah, I didn't think about it. Finn Balor. That's a good
Speaking
call.
of that, I'm very excited because the beautiful people, the ones you can look and never touch, the ones who are
Oh
cleansing the
Lord.
world one person at a time.
Oh Lord.
Angelina Love and Velvet Sky. Unfortunately, they're not including Madison Rain or Lacey Von Erich into this, but they are at least including the original members, which again is Angelina Love and Velvet Sky, the group that was based off Paris Hilton, who I freaking love, which is that's just so you know, learn something today. Is an inductee in the TNA Hall of Fame, and I cannot be more excited. I cannot be more happy for that because that was one of my favorite female groups, especially in TNA. Besides the Dollhouse, which is how you got some of your favorites like Michin. So,
Oh Lord. Really?
yes, yes,
I guess.
yes, because
um.
here, we're all about having beautiful people. So.
Yeah. I did not get. I don't know what's going on X. It would not let me go live on the island page, so I can only do it from my page. But shouts out to
Does
the
the island
200.
page have a step mark on it?
Yes, it does, but I don't know what's going on with it. It's just
Oh,
acting crazy. So we'll get that fixed later on next time we go live. But
actually, no, it doesn't. That's why.
well, it does, but it's something. It's saying something's going on with it.
No, it
I do
don't.
not
I'm
know.
on the island page right now. It does not have a check mark on it
It
anymore.
has it, but it's saying it's checking something on the
Oh,
profile.
it's going through verification.
Yeah, it's going through
Oh, okay. So
verification,
if it's
so I
going through
don't know what's going.
verification, then yeah, it's not going to let you do it until it's actually cleared. So that's
Yeah,
why.
so I don't know what's going on with that.
Oh well.
Elon wants to verify the island for some reason, for some hard. I guess we got haters that want to verify DW's DW, but hey, that's what it is. So
Hey, well,
anyway, it's
that's not under one of our IDs. So hey, that's under somebody who works in the back end's IDs. So hey,
anyway, y'all please follow the beautiful um unseen bling final boss baby. That's 2 B's, 1 Y, CFO. Princess just knocked down my light because I guess she doesn't like me like that. I guess Princess was like, "Look, it's time to wrap this up, Daddy.
oh,
I'm ready to go outside and go use the restroom because I've been with you all day driving around." And she's
oh,
looking at me now, looking like, "Hey, are you talking about me?" Yes, I'm talking about you. Anyway, um, thanks to everyone for coming. 266 people. We still got them on coming off one page. Shouts out to everyone on the YouTube. If you want to find more videos like we made today, Go to YouTube. Go to Talk It Up Wrestling. Put it in there. Had so much fun, too much spinning. Shouts out to Greg. He does a lot of promoting for us, so shouts out to him. Making a lot of our flyers and stuff today. I made the thumbnail today. I had a lot of people give a lot of feedback about the thumbnail that I made for this episode today. I guess I'm getting really good for it. I also made our background that I was trying to show that Final Boss was like, I'm small, but our background, our beautiful background that we made, that will be our original background until Final Boss tells me she's tired of it, she's ready for the color to change. I have to go make another one. So by then, I'll be having another one by then, but hopefully I have another one. I have a purple one because I know that's one of Final Boss' favorite colors made. We will see y'all next week on Talk It Up podcast. Next month, we're gonna try to do something very special for y'all. We're working on something. If we don't get to do it next month, we're gonna try to definitely do it before the month of Thanksgiving. We're trying to try to run them before the holidays because the holidays we're gonna kind of do probably a show once a month or probably two shows out of the month because we know everyone's going to be busy for the holiday season. Please follow me on X. That's Miami the Great 645. Go to WEnergy.gg and also go get some of their delicious flavors. They have gummies. They have the powder, the energy powder. They have shakes. They have all type of things, energy drinks, whatever you want. They have flag. They have a flag now. They have shirts now. If you want to get 10% off, guess what? Put in Talk It Up Wrestling, 10% off on us. Don't tell nobody. No, tell the world. Tell the world. Thank you, Final Boss Lady, for joining me. Um, I guess next week we'll be going live on your time because we're back on schedule. I put out a lot of content to catch us up because the page is at a year of being a year, but we have not been a year of putting out content, guys. So we do not want to get y'all confused. So we're just trying to catch up to the standard where we're supposed to be. We have 100 videos, 650 followers. We're trying to get our watch hours up so we can get super chats. So hopefully we can get on that real soon. We're trying to get to the super chat. That's our next goal. Shouts out to everyone. We know what to get to meet to get that goal. So let's hope next year or the year after that we can get to the super chats. We'll still be here. I will still be here because I love wrestling. I love talking about wrestling. Other than that, if you have any last words, Final Boss baby, before we get out of here. I guess not, because I don't hear Final Boss. I don't know if y'all hear. Okay, she doesn't have anything to say. I was just making sure you didn't have nothing to say because I didn't see you saying nothing. Other than that, guys, peace out, peace, love. We'll catch you guys.